fire the stream whenever you're ready.
Okay, I hit said stream, and you said any of the 9?
Any of the... there could be 9. 1, 2, 3...
I don't know.
4.
I was told there was not be math.
You started it. So, welcome to the experiment. This is on Captain Reboot. We are streaming now, so if you want to cuss, feel free. We run the mature warning, but it might cost you a horrible, horrible ear burning as Ash takes up the challenge and cusses more than you do. Yes, she's currently the reigning queen of the cussing. So be mindful of that. We are running through some. We are going to be picking a particular path based on the cards that have been handed out, and we'll look at that in a second. And the players have started selecting from some pre-gen characters. I believe we have a well-armored human, we have a sneaky rogue, and we have a ranging / roving elf. Are our 3 choices so far. And Kyle is frantically looking through the remainder to choose one for himself. The other thing we're going to be doing is at the bottom of the screen near your names, you should see 3 on a deck of playing cards. Click the deck of playing cards where the number 3 is. It should open up and show you 3 cards facing you. Those cards have a kobold, a goblin, and a noble on them. That's going to be the path that we're going to take. To choose one of those, please grab it, drag it over towards the tabletop, and let it go. It will drop the card face down, and then we will flip them over and figure out where we're going.
Sounds good.
So I see 1.
I will be taking your tiefling.
2. You are taking the tiefling. Tiefling for Kyle. Kyle has the tiefling. And Kyle, if you'd be so kind as to pick one of the tokens out of the middle to represent your tiefling.
Volition, if you can do push to talk.
Did you say post to talk?
Push to talk. We're getting a little bit of a mic noise from you.
Okay.
Like something's brushing your mic.
I will take the horned tiefling kind of in the middle there.
Kind of in the middle, horned tiefling.
That guy looks great.
Okie doke.
Once.
And Kyle is going to be the entertaining tiefling. Kyle has the tiefling. Kyle has the token. Boink, boink.
I think that's what most people think of when they see a tiefling, is that token.
It's a pretty iconic style for the tiefling. Actually, I like it a lot.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, I see 3 cards on the table. Would anyone who hasn't voted please toss their card in? And then we will...
I'm still trying to figure out where you...
Oh, sure.
Push to talk.
Oh, sorry. Push to talk is on the Discord.
Yeah.
And
I'm just trying to find it. Yeah.
if you hit your user settings
User set. Okay.
and voice and video, and you got an input mode, you either got voice activity or push to talk. If you switch it to push to talk, it'll ask you which button you want to use to push to talk. And if that doesn't work out for you, just be mindful of whatever it was that was brushing your mic, because it might have just been loose wire, loose whatever, hitting the mic and giving us a little bit of fuzz. See, that was a pen dropping.
That was
Possibly a
my
marker.
D20 falling by accident.
Okay.
Nice. I'm also going to do the quick transition.
Sure.
And of course it didn't.
Technical difficulties are the best difficulties. So as we get ourselves straightened up here, as my motorcycle goes by again.
There we go.
Get that card flip. Yep. 2 nobles, a kobold, and a goblin. That means we've got a noble path, which means we'll be starting in that direction. So, you party, and here's the trick to this. We're going to be finding out why you're together and a couple other things in sort of a storytelling kind of prompt situation. And we've also got a couple of things that'll be thrown in as curveballs. You have loose ideas of your characters. I've pre-assigned those stats for you. There are some background hints. Feel free to completely ignore them. I'm just going to ask you to be consistent with whatever you tell us during the adventure. So if you decide, yes, you've been on a boat for the last year, don't decide a few minutes later that, oh no, you actually have been a bartender for the last year. Stick with being on a boat. There's bars on boats, I'm sure.
Right.
So, Kyle,
Casey.
how are you? I would like you to pick a name. That's the one thing I will need, though. Shanann. I feel like we're leading to a joke here. It's okay. Shanann it is.
I promise if there is a joke, it will be terrible.
That's fair. Those are the best kind. So, you as a group have made your way to the town of Oakhurst. Oakhurst is world renowned for 2 things: tomatoes and apples. Tomatoes are in season, apples unfortunately are not. So, you make your way into town, you say hi to the mayor, you introduce yourself, you find lodging, and eventually find yourself at the general store. In the general store, you find a mature-looking noblewoman. Good clothing, good face, good bone structure, good stout stick in her hand as she chases a young man out, drubbing him on the back as he rushes past you into the street. She pauses, pushes her hair back, straightens her outfit, and looks over the group of you. Now, for whatever reason that you happen to be together, we'll find out later, but you've got the look of adventure about you. You've got the gear, you've got the outfit, you've got the equipment, you might even have the cool little guild rings. We'll find out. She looks at you and says, oh, it seems fortune has flipped the coin. Adventure is on my very doorstep. Come in, come in. Is there anything that you need? No, wait, there's something that I need first. I am in need of an adventuring party to undertake 2 quests. My children, they aspire to be adventurers, but they fall a bit short. They've gone off with a rather disreputable ranger who has led them into danger, and unfortunately, he has fallen. My children have been captured by a hobgoblin named Dern. He wishes to ransom them back to me, and has told me where the body of the ranger can be found so he can be returned, and if his family can get the money together, potentially be raised, resurrected, or at least interred properly. I'm hoping you will undertake that quest. And as she speaks to you, she invites the 4 of you in, gestures for you to sit down, and to start things off, if I could ask everyone to please click on the initiative button on your character sheets.
Oh, you forgot the first step.
I
Click
did
the
forget the
token.
first step. Please click your token, then click the initiative button on your sheet. See that? I forget that people don't know that. And awesome. And Kaylin, if you can click your token and then click your initiative. Oh, that's all right. I'll get it added for you. No problem. $12.14. Cool. So, as she gestures for you to sit, the quickest through the door, the first to sit, is Baron. Baron, give me a quick description as to who she's offering tea to. Who is she trying to sit down in one of these 4 seats of hers?
Well, she's offering this quest to a halfling who, as he loves his food and drink, also loves to play tricks in the forms of card tricks, dices, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
He has a tendency to get himself into trouble. His fingers just by chance happen to grab things he shouldn't grab.
Sounds fair. And I feel people carry that air about them. So as she invites you to sit, she's like, okay, we'll just, offer you the less fine china. But then I think Atala may be the next through the door and the next to sit. Atala, what does this noblewoman see as she asks you to sit?
She would see something that looks familiar. An elf that maybe has left home at an earlier age than what he should have. May have gotten mixed up with the wrong crowd. Likewise, and so possibly a representation of her lost children that have run off is what I think she would see.
Seems reasonable. And Shanann, as the third in line, what do we have?
Well, we all know that no true performer makes an entrance first. No, you must have a front, a showrunner, an MC, if you would. I am Shanann, of varying backgrounds and various places. I'm here to bring a little liveliness to the land of Oakhurst. Maybe, perchance, enjoy a few tomatoes while I am here, and kind of decked in this garb that says, I'm willing to leave within 2 minutes. A slightly taller than average halfling walks in, has a seat. He does have some very obnoxious protruding horns on the top of his head, but definitely does seem very pleasant, agreeable, and willing to talk over whatever it is, whatever the case, whatever the drink is, as long as it's ale.
Mm-hmm. Any type of tea as long as it's ale, I think is what I heard. Yeah, okay. Ale flavored tea.
That
little
bubbly tea.
A bubbly tea, absolutely. So bringing up the rear of the group at the moment, Kaylin, who does this noblewoman see filling the 4th spot?
She sees somebody that seems secretive but brooding.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have something to hide or there's something they're ashamed of. Definitely somebody you would know would have some past experiences on the battlefield.
Sounds good. So, as the lady seats you each, provides you with tea, seeing some of you give the that's awfully weak ale, changes out the tea for a little bit of wine. Oh, no, ale. Okay, changes out the wine for ale. Upgrade managed. She gets you set. My name is Lady Hercule, and I hope that we can come to an arrangement. My children are very, very dear to me. I'm willing to forward you the ransom that the hobgoblins have requested to go, deliver it, and return, and also some funds to go and fetch their ranger friend. Would this be agreeable to you?
A little more information would be needed before taking this quest? Do you know a rough location of where they might be?
Oh yes, of course. It's nothing so terrible or dangerous. The area to the east and south of here, there was a calamity some many years back, and a citadel that once sat in the foothills sank below the ground. It's referred to colloquially as the Sunless Citadel. Dank, nasty place, filled with goblins and recently kobolds. And unfortunately, my children are drawn to that like moths to a flame. I'm hoping you have some of that same spirit about you, and maybe a little more skill.
Okay.
I can definitely say I have the skill, but exactly how much money are we talking about?
Well, the hobgoblins are looking for 50 gold pieces each for my son and daughter, Talgin and Sharwin. They've given me the resting place of Caracas the Ranger as a sign of good faith. He was done in by several large rats, so I would caution you to be on your guard against that. I have a sort of a map here, and she shows you a sketch of several rooms and directions on how to proceed through to arrive at the location where the rats would have dragged the ranger, and directions where to deliver the funds to the hobgoblin. It should be very direct, and if we had a larger standing militia here, could send them, but this is a small town and farmers make poor couriers.
Okay. Would you be able to lend us some food and gear before we head out if anything is necessary?
Oh, of course, if there's any provisions that you need for the road, the general stores are available to you. We have quite a good selection of tomato and tomato-based products: canned tomato, jarred tomato, dry tomato, tomato paste, tomato soup, tomato juice, all your tomato needs.
I will have to pass on all the tomatoey goodness.
I'm allergic to tomatoes.
Ah, that is unfortunate. Perhaps I should take that tomato wine back. So, she does provide you with provisions and any additional camping gear that you might need. Nothing of any particular value, but it'll at least make the short trip to the Citadel comfortable for you. Torches, candles, that sort of thing. Along with that, you are offered 15 gold each to play courier, so 60 gold between you, which is a fairly reasonable sum for the going rate of adventurers.
Right. I'll look to the rest of the party and see what they say, if they are interested or if they would pass. I'm in.
I have nowhere to go and not a lot of money in my pocket, so I don't really have a choice. I'll go.
Money's money to me. I'll take it.
It's better than singing for silver on the corner.
Oh, and just think of how much singing you can do of your fantastic deeds when you return, and we have a feast for the return of my dear children, and I suppose some sort of event for Caracas. So, with that, I believe the party is ready to set out and make their way towards the Sunless Citadel.
I believe so.
Sounds good. Un moment. So, the old road passes to the east of a narrow ravine at the road's closest approach to a cleft in the ground. Several broken pillars jut from the earth where the ravine widens. 2 of the pillars stand upright, but most lean atop sloped earth. Others are broken and several have apparently fallen into the dark depths. A few similar pillars are visible on the opposite side of the ravine. A sturdy, knotted rope is tied to one of the leaning pillars on the side of this ravine. The map indicates you are to take this rope and descend, and then enter the citadel. You make your way down, pass over a sandy ledge, and continue into the darkness. A fortress emerges from that darkness, the subterranean citadel, impressive but long forgotten. Lightless windows, cracked crenellations, and leaning towers are indication of the wear that's been on it. All is quiet, though a cold breeze blows up from below, bringing with it the scent of dust and a faint trace of rot. The narrow stairs empty into a small courtyard, apparently the top of what was once a crenellated battlement. The buried citadel is sunk so far into the earth that the battlement is now level with the surrounding floor. The floor stretches away to the north and south, composed of a layer of treacherous, crumbled masonry, which reaches to an unknown depth. To the west loom several surviving structures that must be the citadel. A tower stands to the west side of the courtyard. All through the stones, sticks, bracken, little scratchy bits are just waiting to tear at the pant legs and scratch you up. But ahead, it seems to clear a bit, and you find yourself staring at a very large black map.
Nice.
See that?
My favorite.
It's darkness.
It is darkness. Don't worry, you can attack it.
Okay.
Sweet.
I think my dark vision has stopped working momentarily.
There's just a blinding darkness. And then there will be light. Maybe. How about maybe? Come on, roll 20. Don't do this to me, buddy. All right, there's at least a little bit of it. So we are in the right-hand corner. We'll get you there eventually.
I found it.
All right. And we're going to do a little bit more area revealing here. And then we're going to seed in a little adventure. And for reasons unknown, would everyone do me the kindness of clicking their tokens and rolling their initiatives once more?
Oh.
Oh boy.
Oh, don't worry, it'll be fine. And along with that, as you approach the small stairwell leading up to the battlement, and you can see the door of the citadel ahead of you, would you please arrange yourselves in the way that you might be walking along?
Okay. I would ask to be in the back.
I do think my place is in the in-between. It's much easier for everyone to hear me if I'm much more central.
All right, I get it. I'll be in the front.
What?
I'll
Who
just
would
be
do
over
that to
here.
you?
Hey, he's a big brooding wall of armor. I'm okay with that position.
I mean, sometimes big brooding walls of armor is what you want. Come on over here, buddy. Let's you and me roll some dice. Now, you all have adventured in the past. You have all done things. And so one of the things that I'm going to ask about, and this will be based on initiative order, is, Baron, since you happen to be at the top of the initiative order, you get to answer first. How long has your merry crew been together?
Been together for just a couple weeks now. Only starting to get to know each other, fighting, just goblins, kobolds, basic adventuring.
Sounds good. A recently formed alliance it is then. And that recently formed alliance Baron, you don't sense anything in your immediate vicinity, but the hairs on the back of your neck begin to stand up. You get that chill saying, ooh, danger close. As that kicks in, is there anything that you would like to do, though you don't see enemies yet?
I'm taking out my dagger. I don't like this. He's just going to be particularly just like scanning around at every nook and cranny of the place, being
Sure.
paranoid.
Got it. Now, Shanann, as Baron goes on high alert, I get to ask you a question. What is it that has been keeping this adventuring party together? What is it that drew you and keep you close?
Well, but of course it is my magical words that keep all of us together in this group. It is
Of course.
It is the glue that holds us all together. And I imagine, more honestly, Shanann is specifically staying with this group because of the protection that they can provide. He's a guy, and he just wears, a little bit of armor. He much rather would deal with speaking, talking. These goblins and kobolds that we have been going after are not his forte.
Seems fair. So, Shanann, as we find out that you are really the glue that has pulled this, perhaps your own self-interest group together, what are you doing as you feel danger close?
Shanann probably will shut up for the first time in a while, and will probably glue himself to the back of Kaylin, who is our, as self-admitted, resident walking wall of armor.
That is true. Kaylin does appear to have that wall of armor niche carved out for himself. Now, unfortunately, as a wall of armor, certain things are expected of you. And that is being in the front. And unfortunately, being in the front at the moment means that you are the first to see and the first to experience as a trap deploys. A big hunk of the stonework just falls away, opening up. And you're like, that's a poorly designed trap. I'm still 10 feet away. But then plants, horrible little sticky plants, start surging out of the pit towards you. One draws quite close, reaching out with claw-like appendages and swiping at you. I don't think an 11 is going to hit your massively armored body, though. Another repeats, clawing out. Ooh, a 23, however. Good little twig blight. Will do 5 points of piercing damage to you. Now, I do happen to know your sheet, so I happen to know you get to reduce that. So please go ahead and click on your token. Click in the green circle. Hit a -2 because you take 3 off of piercing damage. And that will update your hit points. The other twig. Whoop.
I'm not used to push talk, so that's the only reason I'm really quiet.
Oh, no problem. Other twig blades surge out of the hole, but they're not close enough to get to anyone. And Atala. Hi.
Hi.
So, first you get to answer your question. And the
Okay.
question for you is, we now know what pulls the party together. What is the most contentious thing within the party, though? What is it that you argue about as a group?
I would have to say the thing that we argue about the most is whether we're going to take quests or not, because we have some that are very selfish in the party and
Mhm.
some that are not. And so trying to figure out the compromise of going on a quest seems the thing that holds us back the most.
Gotcha. So whether you are heroes or mercenaries is kind of the argument, I think.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, sounds good. Now, Atala, you do have targets available to you. What are you doing?
Well, seeing that they are plants, I will take out my take an arrow from my quiver and then take out my tinderbox, and I would like to take my action to light a burning arrow.
Okay. I don't think you have any of those prepped, but you can definitely do that as an effect. So go ahead and spend an action getting an arrow on flame.
Okay.
Got it. 1 fire arrow applied. Twig blight number. Gonna surge out here. You will get close enough to Kalen for another attack. Twig blight will give it a shot. And a 9, definitely not going to do anything. Now, Kalen, as our final questionnaire, we have the very important question for you. What is Kalen's favorite color?
Black, like my mood.
Black like your mood. There we go. And Kalen, you've got a variety of targets available to you. What
And
are
you
you
can't
doing?
plumb my depths.
Your depths shall remain unplumbed by me. Tomatoed, perhaps, but no plums.
Okay. Attack. Did you say I have attack?
Certainly may.
Attack. One more.
Sure.
Do I have to hit a button in my sheet or?
Sure. So on your character sheet, hang on a second. Let me get to yours and take a look. You should have a long sword sort of in the top and in the middle. Bingo!
There we go.
That is a big hit from a longsword.
Ooh.
And that is going to destroy the blight before you. Kalen, that is a action. I don't believe you have any bonus actions or reactions at this point, so anything else on your turn? Movement, etc.
We good.
All good. Baron, brings it around to you. What's up?
I'm going to take advantage of my small stature and zigzag my way through, hopefully to here.
Sure can.
And then I'm going to shank this piece of wood.
Certainly may.
Does this piece of wood have its attention on me, or is it focused upon someone else?
It's focused on Kalen at the moment, so you don't have advantage, though, just a normal attack. But you are close enough to a companion that you may use your sneak attack because it is in range of another of your companions.
Cool.
An 8, however, will not tag this twig blight. Just too many sticks to figure out which one to slice.
It's too dusty in here. That's what happened.
It's a mess. It's a mess. Now, would you like to attack with an offhand weapon?
I would.
Okay. You may do so. Same attack roll. You just don't get your dexterity bonus on the offhand, but swing away. That's a hit. And that's going to be 6 points of piercing damage. You don't get your dex on the offhand. 4 points of sneak attack damage is still 10, which is solid damage to this twig blight, and destroys it. Baron, anything else for you?
I'm just gonna move to this little corner.
You got it.
That'll be all for me.
Excellent. Shanann, how about it?
Kaylin, you're doing a great job. It's just you're standing there and you're being all armory and pew at the one that's on him.
Pew indeed. Light crossbow, 10 points of damage. That is going to just obliterate that twig blight, spraying twigs and sticks onto its brethren. Shanann, anything else for you?
No, as of right now, this looks great.
All right. That's going to bring up Twig Blight. Twig Blight number 1 is going to scamper down and try and take a swing at Baron. Baron. Ooh. Crits you for 6 points of piercing damage. Remember, randomness doesn't mean no clumps. Twig Blight number 2 swinging up at Kaylin. Kaylin, how about a 6? Not going to do. Bringing us around to Atala.
Can't
All
tell.
right. Was I successful in making my fire arrow?
You have a fire arrow.
All right. Can I see this guy?
Certainly may.
All right. Taking my shot.
20, 10. Give me a, well, let's see. Burning Torch does an extra 1 point of fire damage, so we'll give that to you at 11 with the one on the fire.
Okay.
It crumples, burning, and is no more.
There we go.
Good big hit. Atala, anything else for you?
Yes, I'm going to move over to Baron just to make sure he's doing all right.
Baron doesn't look so amazing right now. You've seen each other scratched up. He got scratched pretty bad.
He just has his hands on his knees.
Okay. Give
Bring
him
this-
a word of encouragement.
You got it. Kaylin, coming back around to you.
All right.
Eight on the longsword, not going to do. Little too defensive today, maybe. Anything else for you?
I'm gonna look at it with intensity.
It's actually difficult to look at a twig blight with intensity. It doesn't have a real face, so you're just sort of staring at dead shrubbery. But
I picture
Maybe.
a face in my mind, and then
Okay.
I look at it with
you project the face onto it and then stare into it. So Baron, your hands on your knees, deep breath. Atala's giving words of encouragement. Are you going in?
Screw these twigs, they're gonna shank him.
All right, let's see it. An 11, not quite enough. Very close, but not quite. How about an offhand? 8, no! There's just not enough twig for you to stab. Baron, anything else?
He's just gonna cry on the inside.
If a twig blight could emote, it might, but it doesn't. Shanann, anything for you?
Baron, it's okay. Just have a slight rest, and he will, using Kaylin kind of as a brace, try to shoot this other one.
23 will do. 8 points of piercing will finish it off. Congratulations. You have cleared the front step of the Sunless Citadel and the exit that you will need to pass through later on. Any questions about combat at this point? You guys are all pretty experienced, so it seemed like you flew through it real easy.
it was agriculture.
Agriculture.
All good.
All good. All right. So, following the map, you make your way through the Citadel, and I'm going to clump you up for a moment, and we're going to jump through the darkness.
I have an irrational fear of twigs now.
I mean, there are reasons to fear twigs.
Fair enough.
I eat twigs for breakfast.
That's not how you're supposed to get your fiber. That's
They lied.
not the recommended.
Oh boy.
All right, so a little more to the north, you've made your way through several twisting passages, several dusty rooms, and you find yourself in a spot. Let's talk about that spot. Let's talk about that spot if the DM was smart and scrolled to the right spot. There we go. The chamber you're in is empty. It's just full of dust and a little bit of debris, a couple of rat droppings, and a few footsteps crossing from north to south and south to north. Some big, some small, some gnomish. But, you're supposed to just follow the map. Ahead of you, as you crack the door open, you see dust and odd bits of stony debris and rubble lie scattered on the floor. An ornate fountain is built into the eastern wall. Though cracked and stained, the fountain's overarching carving of a dragon retains its beauty. A relief carved in the stone door that stands on the western wall. The western door reads, and I need to ask a quick question. Everyone, please look at your sheet and tell me if any of you speak Draconic.
Negative.
No, just common and halfling for me.
Where am I supposed to look?
Oh, sure. I believe it's the bottom left-hand corner of your sheet.
Other proficiencies
I
and
do not.
Okay.
No.
All right. So, says something in Draconic. Would anyone who would like to try and puzzle it out, please roll me an investigation check.
I know where I stand on intelligent things, and I choose to pass on this. I will, however, look to Shanann and say, in all of your travels of entertaining, you've never seen Draconic?
Well, that's not quite my cup of tea, but well, let's have a look-see, and maybe we'll be able to put it together.
Oh, don't worry, Baron has it.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Baron has it quite to that level, but between you start working it out, and you work out. Okay, this looks like that, and this looks like that, and between you're like, okay, on the dragon, it says something like make fire. On the door, it says something like banish the dead, open.
Huh.
Well, that is interesting.
Now ahead. Oops, sorry. Now ahead to the north, the passageway continues, and you know that some couple of 100 yards ahead is where the ranger's body is expected to be. Ahead into the northwest is where the hobgoblin awaits the ransom. But this wasn't described on the map, and it's got your adventure senses tingling.
I think she lied, guys.
She's a noble woman. She would do no such thing.
More the reason to believe she lied.
I would, however, while they are deciphering and thinking of what they would like to do, I would like to go where you just opened up the map a little bit.
Sure.
I would like to just move up here just to see what else we're dealing with.
Certainly may. As you start creeping along, let's say you can see a little. It's not well lit down here, but you guys have torches, you guys have candles, you can throw fire around. So you see a hallway leading forward. And that hallway contains 6 doors. They're all slightly ajar, and the air has that musky, dirty smell that indicates that, yeah, there's creatures down here.
Okay.
Not clean ones.
Smells like you, Kalen.
Maybe a little. In the summertime.
I've been in this suit of armor for 30 days. I can rat.
I mean, Good.
He would be a little bit. Wait. Torches. Make foot. Well. I mean, that's a bad choice. We could make a bad choice.
What could go wrong?
I'm in the front, remember that.
Well, it depends on which side you consider the front.
Right.
Maybe this door would be the best decision that we could make at this point.
Which door?
Banish the dead, I think it's.
On the map she gave us, it noted where the rats were gonna be. Ish.
Yes.
With the
rats
bottom.
down in here.
Down in the area in which we are.
Give myself a brighter token here. So down in this area is where the ranger is said to have fallen.
Okay. To rats.
To rats.
They were talking about banishing evil. Okay. Is this a door?
That is a door.
Any inscriptions on that door?
No inscriptions on that door. Your map indicates heading off in that direction will take you to where the hobgoblins await for their ransom.
Gotcha. Okay. I will look back to Shanann and what is Shanann doing? I heard torch and bad idea.
Yeah, Shanann, what are you doing?
And I haven't heard any active, no, don't do that. So Shanann is probably just toying with a torch, and then he'll tinderbox and light it.
Mm-hmm.
And then does this dragon have a mouth?
This dragon does have a mouth.
All right, excellent. Let's just shove that torch into the mouth.
I mean, what could go wrong?
Don't do that.
Don't do what?
I'm in the front.
So, Shanann goes to shove the torch in. Kaylin's like, whoa! And it doesn't quite get there in time, and the torch touches the lips of the dragon. And as it does, the flame goes from the kind of orange-red flame of the torch burning nicely to a blue-tinted flame now emerging from the dragon's mouth.
Oh, good.
And that just stays there, just a constant trickle of flame licking out and around the dragon's upper lip, coiling up. It looks as though something quite flammable is within that dragon statue.
Okay.
Ooh, inside. Ooh, I'm gonna take the torch out and then go to grab it. What could go wrong?
Exactly.
What could go wrong with grabbing something that's on fire?
Blue fire, nonetheless.
I mean, you kind of reach forward and you're like, no, hot. Fire bad. I think you have resistance to fire as a tiefling, I believe, but you're not immune to this stuff. So a couple of quick tests is like, no, there's something, fumes, oil, naphtha, and depending on your level of alchemical knowledge and other things, you're like, okay, no, it's either a fire or it's something science. But you couldn't get to it without getting into the dragon.
How big is the dragon?
The dragon itself, the statue is a good 8 foot tall and arcs over on itself. So were the dragon stretched out, tip to tail, probably a good 16 to 20 feet. Curled up as it is, it's about an 8 foot tall statue, arcing up and coming down. It looks a lot like a big oil lamp. So that's what you can kind of say, okay, probably in the belly is something that burns. We lit it, now it's burning a little bit.
Right. Okay, just so I don't have to use my tinderbox again, can I stick one arrowhead into the mouth of the dragon and have a flaming arrow at the ready? I'll wrap some hemp rope around the tip so that the rope burns rather than the arrow.
Against the twig blights, because they were super dry, super allergic to fire, that gave you an extra boost. Against normal creatures, that would not have much of an impact, and you're familiar with that through your experiences. An actual fire arrow would be something specially constructed to do this. But if you do want to have one, you can certainly do so.
Well, my thought is rats don't really like fire, so if they were to start running, I would just shoot it, and it would potentially scare them or startle them. That's my thought process.
I'm on board. Let's do it.
Okay, so I will utilize some of my hemp rope, wrap it around the tip of an arrow, and then light it on fire, and then I have it at the low ready. And I say we just proceed down the hallway. We know this is where the rats and the ranger are. So let's tackle this first quest.
So which first, guys? The left doors or the right doors?
I say we do 2 on one side, 2 on the other. We peer in, see what there is, and then we're all within close proximity so we can fight in one room if necessary.
Sounds good to me.
So we are leaving this thing of behind, and we are moving this way.
That is what I propose. Yes, Atala.
Very well. Maybe I'm on the way out. I mean, if this job doesn't pay that well, we gotta, find some other stuff.
Sure.
Right.
And Kaylin, as you start moving forward, you're kind of doing the I'm the big target, attack me first sort of thing. The first 2 rooms, empty. They look like they might have been cells, they might have been storage areas, maybe small bedrooms. Whatever they were long ago, they're just crumbled into rot. You can see great piles of straw and debris have been made up inside them. Pretty good sized rats' nests, but no rats at the moment.
Looks like these guys had the right idea.
Okay. All right, so Kaylin, we moving up to the next door?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. As you proceed, could I ask Kaylin and Atala to go ahead and give me perception checks, please? You guys are all over it. And Nick, do me a favor. At the very bottom right corner of the Roll20 where it says as and then your name, click there and flip it to your character name.
Good deal.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else who hasn't done that, please do. So you discover, first one and then the other of you, that we're going to need initiatives. Please go ahead and click your tokens. Roll yourselves an initiative as you reveal some very startled rats who are like, how did they find us?
Intuition.
All right.
Oh, that was bad.
I was waiting for it.
Not a good joke.
Don't expect much, but I try.
I appreciate it.
From a brooding wall of armor, that's top notch.
That is true.
Very true.
I mean, Shenane, those lessons paying off.
It's all about the timing.
And speaking of timing, those rats, they were all about it. Rushing out. Kalen, you've got their attention first. It bites. 19 might actually tag you.
Ouch.
4 points of damage to Kalen. Kalen, you can go ahead and reduce that as appropriate, and then update your hit points as we find out what Baron is doing as the searching does turn up some rats.
I'm only half the man I used to be.
But twice the halfling.
Baron is going to move beside this rat and then do a good old-fashioned stab.
You got it. Ooh, that's a good stab. That is 5 points of damage. The rat is reeling, but still squeaking. Following up with the offhand?
Yes.
18. No sneak on that one, but a little more damage.
Right.
3 more is enough. The rat falls, unmoving. Baron, anything else for you?
That's... I'm going to move behind back here.
All right. There's a door in the way, so no attack of opportunity. But as our giant rat comes out chasing you, it runs square into Atala and decides, you're close, I'll bite you. Atala, ooh, a 19 for another 5. These rats on it today.
That's going to hit.
As Atala is gnawed upon, Shanann, what you doing?
Wait, Baron, you stabbed that twice and it took 2 of them? Ooh. I don't
these
like
are big
these
guys.
at all.
These are big rats.
You are large, and you smell, and you can't even gnaw through things properly, as I mock the one in front of Atala.
Wow, that's just
Ooh.
cold.
Ooh.
DC 13, wisdom saving throw from a rat. Let's see it, buddy. No. That is 4 points of damage to my rat friend, and I believe disadvantage on the next attack as it's just hunkered over, questioning its life. Shanann, anything else for you?
See, Atala, it will all be all right. That rat is no problem, and I'm sure that someone as supreme as you can deal with the issue at hand. And I will Bardic Inspiration Atala.
All right. Atala receives a Bardic Inspiration and may apply that D6 as stated. Now, this rat comes charging forward. This rat sees its friend struck down. It's like, no, you don't want to do that. And then it gnaws on Atala. Atala, rats have pack tactics, so this will be at advantage. 14?
That's going to hit.
All right, 5 points of piercing damage to Atala. And then Atala, it is your turn. There's a lot of teeth marks in you right now, I think.
That there are. I'm going to take a second, look back, and give Shanann a thumbs up for the inspiring words of wisdom. And I'm going to, if allowed, I'm just going to stab the rat in front of me with my burning arrow that I had currently at the ready.
Certainly may.
Okay. Do you want just roll my short sword for the attack?
Yep. 20 is a solid hit. This is a arrow. Arrows also do D6, don't they?
Yeah, I was thinking just improvised weapon.
Yep, let's do improvised weapon. What do we got for strength on you?
0.
Oh, 0.
Yep.
So that is not an amazing hit, but we'll give you the 1 and 1. Will be the 2. Rat, unfortunately, still hanging in, despite all the violence it has suffered. Atala, anything else for it?
Yeah, seeing that he's still writhing after I stab him with the arrow,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to utilize my bardic inspiration die and just like wretchet the arrow inside him just a little bit more.
Bardic Inspiration die, I don't think we can apply to damage.
That is correct. It is only
Right.
on D20 rolls.
Only on the
Okay,
D20.
only
Sorry
on-
about that one.
Okay. Well
Do
then,
you happen to have a knife or dagger that you could whip out and stab bonus action?
that is a big negative unless you would allow me to use another arrow as a dagger.
Sure. Why not?
Okay.
Not as a
Alright.
dagger, but as another improvised weapon. They've seen light and such things.
Right. It's a crit.
I mean, this guy was going down no matter what, it seemed.
It's really going down.
Yeah, so you Legolas him. Atala, anything else for you?
Yes. No, you know what? I'm standing up here with my boy Kalen.
Okay.
We're doing this. We're going.
Kalen,
All right. I will aim for the neck to behead the rat with my longsword.
certainly may, and boy, you get close. You chop in, and it is obviously gushing blood, twitching all over the place, but, ooh, it looks like it's still going to try and bite somebody. Any additional activity for you?
It smells like copper.
It does.
I'm good.
Maybe you could harvest rats in some new mining scheme. But Baron, how about it?
I'm going to move over here, and then just gonna see if I can stab him in the eyeball.
Certainly may. Try. Yes, you do. Sure do.
Jenkerson.
And as the rat falls, it goes quiet once more in the Citadel. Now you've moved forward enough that you're able to see into the room ahead of you. And, Baron, it's lucky that you've stepped forward, because you have certain skills. And these skills make you dangerous to certain areas of a dungeon, especially those that contain traps.
Ah, yes.
And you're like, whoa, how about we don't step here? And you know what? It'd be real good if we don't step there either. More of those sliding tile fall away pit trap types.
Baron's gonna point to those areas. Those are big no-no areas.
Ah yes, the big no-no area.
Right. Okay. I'm going to lean against the wall and kind of sit down for a second. I need to catch my breath, and I ask if anyone has anything that I could use to maybe wrap up one of these bites.
Well, I mean, I was going to suggest that we have 11sies. I believe it's, it's about time. We've got some fresh rat.
Ah, yes, 11sies. How could we miss 11sies?
I have no choice. I'm allergic to tomatoes.
There's some good rats there.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. All the care packages are made with dried tomato bits, and you're like, nope, can't do. But rat.
This woman is wicked.
It's what they have. Do I hear that the party is taking a short rest?
I'm down.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe if we take it in one of the rooms that were one of these rooms, that were just the nests, we could get comfortable on some straw and kick back and just listen to Shanann tell a story.
Seems like a reasonable thing you might do. So, if one of those in the party could do me the favor of rolling a fateful d20, you want to roll not a 19 or a 20.
Okay. I will do that, and if necessary, since it's a check, can I use my Bardic Inspiration?
Unfortunately, Bardic Inspiration would send
Okay.
you in the wrong direction. 14 is not a 19 or a 20. An hour passes uneventfully. Please feel free to use your hit dice to recover hit points and refresh anything that you would gain back on a short rest.
All right.
Well, I mean, it's not so much a story as it is a little ditty. You know, and it kind of, the last little bit of it kind of clicked in my head after the dire straits of that previous entry. Just you know, do me a favor and don't stop me if you've heard this before. So no one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you're broke. Your last group was DOA. It's like you're always stuck in crappy gear. When it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you.
Wow.
When the dead start to rise, I'll be there for you. Keep your eyes on the prize, I'll be there for you. 'Cause you're there for me too. And he points at Kalen at the end because he's always been in the front.
Beautiful.
And you got a point.
Standing ovation.
Very nice. Now I'm curious, did someone buy us a song in the Silver Store?
So we turned off the Silver Store, so that one's gratis.
You know what? I feel like I gotta give you credit for it. That was a full verse there. So for those of you unaware, because you're new to the channel, you can earn silver by watching, and then you can spend silver to give the characters or the DM. The DM loves these things. In-game benefits. One of which is a +10 or a -10 to any die for a character willing to embarrass themselves in public by singing. So I feel like I'll go ahead and toss that credit out there for you. So you have a +10, -10 that you can apply to any D20 die roll at any time. So congratulations, and hope everybody's healed up a little bit.
Good.
Feeling good?
Especially after that song. That got me
There you go.
going. I was
Yeah.
tapped out my foot.
I'm refreshed, but I still have a rash.
I'm sure there's a powder and ointment for that you can obtain, tomato-based. But ahead to the north still awaits that which struck down the Ranger Caracas and another room. Now this room, we've discovered some traps in it, so you want to avoid that. The cobblestone floor contains 2 trapdoors. Now, it was probably the trapdoors that triggered you, but maybe it could have also been the iron spikes that were wedged in to keep them upright. So they would probably support a little weight. Don't want to jump up and down on those. The north wall also holds another dry fountain carved in the likeness of an overarching diving dragon. A faint rotten stench pervades the room.
Now, I'm not the smartest guy in the Citadel, but I could throw somebody if.
I mean, or you could jump or just sort of scoot along the side, but I like the option of throwing people, personally.
Is there anybody agile?
I'm agile. I'm pretty agile.
I would say the halfling's probably your best bet to throw since he's about football size.
Oh boy.
And it's not racist because he's not a dwarf.
You ain't thrown a dwarf very far.
No one tosses the dwarf.
What do you say, little buddy?
I've done stupider things. Go ahead.
So what exactly do I roll for this?
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna roll an athletics for the throw, and then we're going to roll an acrobatics for the landing. So if the thrower would do me the kindness of rolling athletics.
I feel optimistic.
I mean, that's not amazing, but we could recover with the acrobatics of the landee. With the throw E, please roll me an acrobatics check. Yeah. Okay. So the run up the throw's not amazing. Like this wasn't your finest toss, but the halfling stretches out, hand plants, sort of pulls themselves along, sort of mini vaults on the floor, slides forward a little bit, sticks the landing, and is now on the far side.
Don't call me Quickfoot for nothing.
That's true. They don't call you Quickfoot.
Okay. Good toss, Kalen.
I do my best.
I'm gonna take my my chances and to just jump from there to here. I'm just gonna like caddy that corner,
Sure.
hugging the wall as best as possible.
You got it. Go ahead and give me an athletics or an acrobatics, whatever you think is appropriate for your style. See? Now, I need to ask you an important question.
All right.
Would you say your character is a heavy character or a light character?
Oh, light. I'm an elf.
Okay. So I mean, there's some elves that carry a bit of extra weight and gear around them. So
Yeah, those
That's
are
okay.
half elves.
oh, is that what they are? So you go to acrobatically move yourself around, but like the walls, you're like, oh, rat fur, and you're like, get that off your, and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have let go, and you just topple over backwards and poof, land on the trap door. Everyone can see the little spikes that are holding it closed jar and jostle and start to work their way loose, but they don't quite go. So Atala, wait, hang on. Yeah, Atala, you are now laying on your back on the trapdoor.
Okay. Got it. I'm going to not yell because that might shake my body a little too much,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to loudly whisper for Kalen to just grab my leg and pull me backwards.
I feel a pattern coming on.
Just give it a good yank.
One human row.
Go ahead and give me an athletics. And you don't want to do less than a 10 on this.
Alright.
No.
That is less than a 10, which is actually impressive for you. But that's not so good. So
my bardic inspiration for my wall jumping. Dang
I
it.
mean, a little bit
happened.
here, a little bit there.
It
So
happened.
as you start to reel your companion in, unfortunately, some part of your companion's gear catches on one of the spikes. It works loose, and then you hear the clink of another coming loose, and you fall. Now, the fall isn't terrible. It's only about 20 feet.
Okay.
Please take 2 damage. Atala.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Now, the damage might not be the problem so much as the enormous banging noise that comes along with it. And with that, you hear the chitter and squeal of a number of rats to the west. Would everyone please click their icons and roll their initiative? And Kalen, you tried. But Atala, down they went. And now as you look about, you're like, ooh, I hear rats. Kalen, what are you doing? That pit is now open in front of you.
I look down and I'm kind of a little curious what happened. Little buddy, you okay?
Am I allowed to enter?
Oh yes. So yeah, short conversations are fine.
Oh, okay. I say, yep, but I'm hearing some feet scuffling.
That's probably rats. I think they want to eat.
Let them try.
So, I try to survey the area and try to see exactly anything I can see to see if I can see what direction they're coming from or anything really.
Sure, you're certain they're going to be coming from over in this direction. You can see where rat holes have been gnawed in the walls. You can see that there are passageways through the cracked stone, and you can hear them chittering and whining from that way. Now, among the choices that you have in 5e are to hold actions. So you could do something like, I'm going to attack the first rat I see if you happen to have a ranged weapon. Or I'm going to dodge if you just want to take defense. Or you could leap across there and be all heroic and stuff. And fall in the pit.
I'll leap.
Okay. You may choose athletics or acrobatics. I want to see higher than a 10. Actually, 10 or higher. We'll even give you the split.
Athletic.
Not a problem. You are across the pit, actually, in any direction that you wish to be. And then where do you wish to be?
Right over here.
You got it. Any held action?
Yes. I scream a little bit, but I stop.
Alrighty. Shanann.
Shit. So this wall, which we're clearly hearing the rats from, you were describing a couple of holes or burrows. Are those visible and ish? Where are they?
All over the place. So the Citadel has suffered considerably since it sank below the earth. So there are many cracks and holes. Now the rats you saw were pretty freaking big, but there are some pretty big cracks. They might have to come in over the top. They might be able to come in, through the crack beside the door, but you feel they could pretty easily get in anywhere along that wall. Rats can squeeze through any hole their skull can fit through.
Science.
Well, what if we made it easier for... Okay, shitload of rats. Let's give them an easier way in. Baron, I'm gonna open that door. Can you make that trap work?
Of course.
Sure. So Shanann, what you doing?
I'm gonna ready an action to cast Thaumaturgy on the door to open it. If and when Baron gives me like some sort of positive signal.
Sounds good.
And then what type of action is it to like let loose a good chunk of rope?
I would say a free. You're going to assist. You're going to assist Atala out of the hole.
That's the premise. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Free action. Drop a rope to him. Not a problem.
So I got one hand at the ready, looking at this door, and I got one hand holding onto a rope.
Sounds like a plan. Now, unfortunately, before you can spring your plan into action, one of the giant rats does wriggle through. It sees Baron, scampers on over, Oh, it doesn't see Kaylin, though. Kaylin, did you have a held action?
Nothing I know of.
Okay. Then it's going to take a quick chomp out of Baron, or at least try to. Baron. 20 for 5. Crazy rats today.
Ow.
But Baron, will that rat distract you from your glorious mission?
Never.
The pit trap is held up by these little spikes. You could easily tug the spikes loose, at which point the slightest pressure would be ready to drop them into whatever lays beneath. Give me a quick... I have to imagine you have a thieves toolkit on your body. So if you would click on that and choose dexterity, probably bottom left corner of the sheet.
Oh, yes.
Oh boy.
Oh, boy. I got it, guys.
So I feel like...
So that's a check, right? Not a save, and checks don't fail on a 1?
Checks don't fail on a 1.
I'm gonna burn the plus 10.
Okay. You're like, this is just not coming loose. I can't possibly. And then you're like, but he'll be there for me. And then poof, out it comes. Power of friendship engaged. So, Baron, you have set the trap on that. Shenan's trigger fires off, and the door opens, revealing a really, really nasty place, which we'll talk about for a second here. An oppressive smell just rolls out of that room, and Baron, you're just like... rising from chewed carcasses of cave rats and smaller vermin, and a few humanoid-looking creatures, the bodies lie upon the floor of filth, old bones, hair, and fur that combine to make a particularly large and vile rat's nest. Atop that nest, a massive rat, boils covering its body, huge bloated protrusions coming off of it. It just looks at you and squeak. Baron, anything else on your turn?
I'm gonna give Shanann a thumbs up that I did the deed.
The deed is indeed done. Atala, you're in a hole. You've got a rope. It's 20 feet up. What do you want to do?
So these are there any like cracks in the wall that I can notice that I can like kind of wall run up a little bit, or at least get it like a good push?
If you grab hold of Shenan's rope and sort of lean back, you can kind of rappel run. If you can imagine kind of leaning back against it, feet on the wall, up to either side.
Okay.
And come out at a good sprint.
Okay, so I would like to do that and end up here.
That is certainly possible.
Okay. Is that going to be my whole turn? Because I'm probably winded after running up a wall.
So here's the important question to you.
Okay.
If you want to give me an acrobatics check and get a 10 or higher, that can be done, and then you have something else to do. If you want to spend your action just working your way out safely, that's also fine. Are you willing to risk it?
Heck yeah, we have the inspiration. Let's go.
All right, let's see it.
There it is.
Didn't even need the help. You are clear and free. That will take up 20 feet of your movement, so you have 10 feet left, and your action. What you doing?
I'm going to shoot at that rat right there.
Certainly may. No, you're not.
Okay.
Wait, hang on. Double check. Right, no, he's a little furry guy.
Okay. Well, that's all right.
All right. So, as Atala takes their shot, that enormous rat comes trundling forward at Baron, and Baron, good news. The rat disappears for a moment. As the trap triggers, and the rat falls. You hear bones cracking. Unfortunately, it's probably not the rat's bone. But it moves to the edge, looking up at you, howling in dismay. Other rats rush forward as well. They can now see the trap and will try and avoid it. They do.
Ooh.
They move forward. Kalen, with the pack tactics, the bite has advantage. Kalen, I don't think a 12 hits you, though. And my final rat rushes forward, attempts to leap gracefully into the pit. Yep. Oh, you're a special rat. I can tell you're going to be my favorite. Down you go. Kalen, 2 rats threaten you. 2 more in the pit. Friends are behind you. What are you doing?
Let's see here. I kind of have a really upset for the last time I got chewed on. So I take my weapon.
Whoop, lost you there for a second.
Lost 2.
Whoop,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I swing with my weapon,
Sure.
2-handed.
Certainly may. Oh no, that's just not enough. So close, you gave it a good little buzz cut, but not enough to damage it.
Nice new haircut.
Nice new haircut. Caitlin, anything else for you?
No, I'm good.
All right. And Shanann.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, at least 2 out of 4. 2 out of 4 ain't bad.
24
I'll
ain't
take 2
bad.
out of 4. So then there's that one that's in between Baron and Kalen, and that guy looks like he is prime time. We are going to mock him. You smell worse than the other rats that we just killed. You smell terrible.
That's not nice at all. Ah, but it saves. Oh, do rat.
It does indeed.
Wait, DC 13? Oh yeah, first level.
Beats, yep. And then I will. Oh man, I'm gonna run out of these. I'm gonna have to save the last one, guys. I'm gonna bonus action. No, I'm gonna hold it for this turn, and then we'll see if it goes from bad to worse.
All right. That's going to bring up one of our giant rats. This one, its attention on Baron. Baron, giant rat bite. 11? I don't think.
Nope, that's not it.
And would you like to do anything about that?
I would like to stab it, yes.
Okie dokie. You do.
Vengeance.
Furry Vengeance is yours. Do you wish to apply sneak attack damage?
Sure, yeah.
Please double your sneak attack damage dice roll and roll them. And I can tell you have to roll really bad not to decimate this thing. You have done well, Baron. The rat falls before you. And that was only one attack of a potential 2. The big bloated beast is 20 feet down, so maybe out of your reach. The other one, threatening Kalen, certainly reachable, but that would keep you very close to the fight, and I don't know if you want to be. What would you like to do?
I can take out my short bow.
You can.
I'll strike from here.
Wait, short bow, that would be another full attack. You do not have another full attack.
Right.
But you can take your short bow out.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. You ready your short bow, and as you do, Atala.
Okay. Seeing that Kalen is in a little bit of trouble, I'm going to take my bow out, and I'm going to try and not hit Kalen with my arrow, but hit the rat.
Sure can. Now, you're shooting at an odd angle, so I'm going to give them a +2 to their armor class for half cover.
Okay.
You could reduce or negate that by moving over to this side, but that would take an acrobatics check to jump across that pit.
Correct, which so far has not boded very well.
Mm-mm.
So let's accept the -2, but put one between his eyes. Here we go.
Fire when ready. Sure do. 6 points of piercing does incredible amounts of damage to this rat. However, it is lingering and attempting in its death throes to gnaw on Kalen just a little bit more. Atala, any other activity for you?
Nope. That's gonna be it. I'm gonna just get I'll get another arrow ready just in case.
You got it. Now, eager to join the fray, the enormous bloated gut hash rushes up the side of the pit. Acrobatics check to get out and be able to bite things. Yeah. Gut hash joins the fray. Gut hash would very much like to chew on this metal person that it has advantage on. Kalen, we've got a gut hash bite with advantage coming at you. Ooh, 21. And may I ask you for a Constitution saving throw? The DC is a 10.
Oh boy.
You are okay, but you can smell the breath and know that this beast is not something you want to be bitten by. That's going to bring up our next giant rat next to Kalen. Ooh, also on Kalen with advantage. Nibble, nibble. 16? Two-handing your longsword, I think that might tag you. But you know what? Actually, you're just going to soak away that 3 points of damage, so why did he even bother? Last rat really wants out of that pit. Acrobatics check. Nope, he's staying in the pit. Kalen, what you doing? Oh, and do please take you 2 damage from Gut Hash. Nope, still with us?
Felician, you okay?
No, MacBook! Don't do it! No!
Oh, it did it.
No, he was back, and then he's gone. He's back.
He's back again.
Come on, MacBook, you can do it.
Get that push to talk.
Kevin! No! That rat disease really got him hard.
It's tough, man. And then they stink. Like, what are you gonna do?
He's on it. Caitlin, which one were you going for?
Looks like blue ping on left.
Blue ping on left. That will kill it. And down it goes. Think that's all the action. Rough connection night for Kalen. But we'll soldier. How about it?
Guys, is that one, like, I can't believe I'm saying this. Is that rat grosser than the other ones? Cause
It's pretty gross. I can smell it from right here.
I'm gonna mock it. I don't have a creative mock for this one. I'm sorry, guys. I tapped my redundant creativity earlier.
Yes, it feels that you have tapped out and just shrugs off your insults.
Oof.
Okay, and then I will give Bardic Inspiration to Baron, and I will say, all the way across the stomach. One fell swoop, you can do it!
Thanks.
Baron, inspired as you are.
Am I gonna get it?
Vel, are you back?
Can you hear me?
I got you now. Okay.
All right.
All right, I saw you did your longsword attack. I saw you killed a rat. You've taken your damage. And now Baron is bardically inspired to...
Ow. Said I couldn't talk.
Okay.
I will get attacked if I move, right?
If you try and run away, you will probably get attacked.
Hmm.
You could take the disengage action, but that would
Right.
use up your action.
I'll shoot it.
Are you shooting it with your bow?
Yeah.
All right, you are within melee range, so that will be at disadvantage.
Okay.
Feeling confident, though. Fire away. An 11 might miss. Are you going to apply your bardic inspiration?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and roll me a d6. A 3 pushes it over the top. And once again, the bard's words ring in your ear as you deal 10 points of piercing damage to this massive bloated rat. And as the pus and the gore spews, you realize something unfortunate. It's still moving.
Lovely.
Baron, anything else?
Can't take disengage now.
Can't take disengage now.
I'm just going to stand here and hopefully not get hit.
All right, it's a good plan. Let's see how it pans out. Atala.
Okay, I'm going to drop to a knee to steady my aim and shoot at the bloated rat.
All right, much cleaner shot this time. No effect on your aim. Fire when ready. 14 tags it. 9 points of piercing damage. Sends the carcass of the bloated rat tumbling back into the pit and into history. Unfortunately, there's still one more rat down there that could cause problems. Atala, any other activity?
I'm just gonna yell out, we still got one more to go, boys. One more.
One more, just one more. And that one more is my favorite. It's the one that's going to win the day for me as it comes charging up the side wall. Hey, look at you. You're out. Good job. He's going to try and bite Baron.
Good little boy.
Baron, who trapped it in the pit. Let's see. Oh, no.
Oh, thank God.
No, Rat. You're going to have to survive so many attacks. Kate, what are you doing?
No, I think we lost him again.
Uh-oh. Did we lose you again? Vel.
Oh no!
Wait, he's
Yay.
doing stuff.
What happened?
So, the rat has rushed out of the pit. There's only one left, and it's right in front of you. If you wish to swing away.
Yes, I wish to swing very hard.
Swing low, sweet chariot.
Ooh.
Bam.
Kalen, finishing it off with panache. Once more, the rats fall, and silence descends on the Sunless Citadel. A quick investigation of the area reveals that amongst the gore and the bodies and the nastiness is the body of the Ranger Caracas. You're able to bundle it up. You've brought along the makings of a small sledge. Once the body's secure, you bring it out and stow it in a safe place to be retrieved on your way out of the Citadel. But you still have the ransoming of children to deal with. among the piles of refuse and among the bodies, you find a number of items. Most of them household goods. One of them, however, may be important to you. The party now has a potion of healing
Mm.
Okay.
that they may deploy. They've also acquired some additional daggers, arrows, and equipment that could be used to replace anything that was damaged, but given the amount of rat feces on it, you may just want to let that lie.
Dirty warfare.
Okay.
Yeah.
I vote give the potion to Baron.
I also vote.
Wow, that is a Shannon quality level vote. Baron, I have to respect that and vote for you.
Baron's just heaving while leaning against the little fountain.
All right. If you do wish to drink the potion, you may do so. And that is where we're going to pause for our quick bio break. Grab drinks, grab whatever you need to do. Probably figure on somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. And then we will pick back up with the second half of the adventure. Congratulations. You have defeated Gut Hash the Bloated, the queen of the giant rats.
Look at that. Not even a scratch on us.
Not even a scratch. Just flawless victory.
Right. Round 1. We still got 2 to go.
There we
Round
go.
two.
So, good.
Go ahead.
I was just saying I'm going to run over and grab a drink. I will be back in a moment. If anybody needs anything, just shout for me.
Sound good.
Oh boy.
How you feeling there, Baron?
Oh, level 1.
You gotta love them. I've so funny story. I've been playing my HP as my AC, like a complete noob. Half the hits I've taken, I wouldn't have taken. I have an AC of 16. And I've been playing 11. I was
Oh
like,
no.
oh,
No.
gross. But hey, it happens.
Mine's not too bad. Mine's 14.
It's not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Just my health. Not too good.
Right.
One of you is an armor class beast.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's the armored human.
Human.
It may be.
I just
Still
I
have-
feel so dumb that I have had a 16 AC and I've been playing as an 11.
I apologize. I had not been checking up. I figured
No.
you guys had it covered.
Yeah, no, that's on me. That's on me completely. I was looking through my inventory to see what I had to see if I could heal myself, and it said scale mail, and I was like, wait a tick. I was like, damn.
Hold on.
Right. It happens.
Definitely gonna chug that health potion.
You guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Yep, sound good now.
Okay, all right.
What happened? The MacBook attack you?
I hate me.
It's a good reason.
Good
You got cats that want to shoot you and iRobot that you're using.
Apple's after you.
The struggle.
Yeah, I feel you.
No wonder I'm playing Protean character.
He's adventuring because he doesn't want to go home to his cats or a MacBook.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, sometimes that's what you get.
It's true. It's true. I don't even have a laptop. I sold mine recently. So, you got me beat there.
I'll be right back, guys.
Sure.
Alright. I gotta be a little smarter moving forward. Well, here, question. Amongst the amongst the stuff in the room,
Mhm.
could I potentially find cloth to do a medicine check of bandaging a wound?
So unless you actually have the
Medicine
feet,
trait.
yeah, the medicine trait or the medicine feat,
Okay.
medicine will only stabilize someone.
Okay,
So
that works.
now that is, at the moment we're playing a fairly close to rules as written style.
Right.
Many of the other games go very different ways with the homebrew. So
That's
don't
what
take that.
Nope, that's why I figured I would ask.
Yep.
'Cause I have bardic inspiration. I could use it to try and get something. But nope, I'm good.
You got it.
I'm a third, feeling healthy. I'm all right.
What's a roll for a health potion again? I forgot.
2d4 plus 2.
How's it going?
Well, with that health roll, not as good as what it could be.
Wah, wah,
Yeah,
wah.
that healing potion was not kind to you.
It had rat fungus on the mouthpiece.
Yummy. Bon
Whoa.
appetit.
Whoa.
Just desserts.
There you go.
What is that, halfling seasoning?
Yeah. I put all of my pies that I make.
Ooh, pies. I mean,
Literally
can
said
make
the same thing without the mic open.
pies.
I could make some rat pies right now if you want.
See,
I'd
pies are an item of high contention in the Captain Reboot crew, but that's okay.
So if someone is not a fan of pie, are they not allowed to be amongst the Reboot family?
It's a complicated issue. I guess it depends on what type of pie.
Definitely not my
There-
rat pies.
Are there any children minced up into
Are
this
there any
pie?
children in this pie?
Oh.
Because
Yeah.
if not, I don't want.
Yeah. Are we recording? Do we have Sin saying that? 'Cause I need that quote.
Oh man.
I'm just saying. There's only one pie that I enjoy, and it's cheesecake, and that's it. Any other
Fair.
pie, I'll give it to everybody else.
I never really thought about that, but if they called it cheese pie, definitely wouldn't sell. But cheesecake, good name.
Right.
I want cheesecake.
It's the greatest dessert ever.
True.
Or like a freshly made cinnamon roll. Oh,
Oh.
that's where it's at.
This episode brought to you by pie.
And cinnamon rolls.
So are you guys just all hungry? Is that what's going on?
I'm hungry now.
I'm keeping my mind off of my gouging wounds and my broken back.
These are important things.
Maybe just a ruptured spleen, but it's one of the two.
God, it's like your bard isn't healing you or something. Weird.
What?
He can't defend himself right now. He's eating. Uh-huh.
Right.
What bard would
Mhm.
avoid healing their party members?
He's stingy.
A
He's terrible
tiefling
at it.
one that is only here because he's the glue that holds everyone together.
The fuck did you just unveil, Casey? That doesn't look friendly at all. I'm gonna dip out of here before I get hit with that shit. Have I
Oh no, you're gonna be a person we just found on the side of the wall.
don't think Casey has any more icons.
Oh, I have tons of icons. You want an icon? I could literally give you someone they can find on a wall. He's right down here.
Oh,
DMX
gee.
Machina.
I am back.
When you find on a wall, spare no expense.
But nope.
That looks like a friendly room of friendly chaps.
They're all friends of yours. They are
At least it's
all
not all Mulaney's.
all what? That's not nice. all 100% friends.
It's okay. In my Curse of Strahd playthrough, we got to the hag house and we befriended the hags. So we could befriend these guys. We got
See?
it. We got
Friendly
a-
hags with pie.
Right, we got a charismatic tiefling. I'm sure he'd be all right.
See, we had a halfling that was all about the hags and their pies. And then there was trouble.
Right.
So, do we have everybody back? I think I've heard voices.
I don't think Kyle is. He said he'd be back at 9
He's
Eastern.
here. He's just stuffing his face.
Come on, Kyle!
It's 9:01.
words
that's-
ready.
Eat your... What was that? You said you were eating horseradish?
Please don't ask him to repeat it. He may die.
No, don't
Like
die.
IRL.
No.
We lost Kalen.
I'm here.
No, he's back.
But in game,
I
Oh,
know.
we lost... Wait, Kaylin! No, he's right there.
I'm having to fix that.
there he is.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
I'm gonna say this is not the time to lose our wall of armor.
Oh, you'll be fine. Who could
Right.
hurt charming young fellows like you?
I'm not worried about it.
I've almost got a brush of death a couple times. Ooh.
There's only one thing I'm worried about going into this room. That's it. See how it goes.
It'll be fine, I'm sure. So, I think everyone can hear me, so we'll start in on the intro. You have defeated the rats. You have recovered the Ranger Caracas's body and stowed it in a safe place to be retrieved as you exit. You headed through a small hallway and were greeted by two goblin guards. They called out to you, and you're like, what? And they're like, oh, Commons, hang on. Are you the ones bringing us the ransom? And they wait for your reply.
Yes, that would be us.
Okay. Look, there's ransoms is good. There's lots of monies. And with the monies, we can buy the good stuffs, and that'll be awesome. So yeah, come on this way. I really didn't think this plan of the hobgoblins was going to work out real well, but it seems like it's going to be okay. Yeah. And they begin leading you first through a storeroom filled with miscellaneous goods that you suspect fell off the back of a cart into their possession. You
Right.
also pass through a hallway, the one you're in now, which is filled with pillars. Several torches mounted in crude sconces burn fitfully around this chamber, filling the air with a haze. A double row of marble columns carved with entwined dragons runs the length of the hall. The goblins continue to lead you forward. Yes, really good you guys came along, so we didn't think this was going to work out. And as they continue along, you have a few moments to speak with them if you choose, or not.
So what's
Go ahead.
the deal with taking the kid?
What? Take the kids? No, we rescued them. We rescued them from the rats? And this is just our finder's fee, yeah. Yeah.
How noble are you?
Well, personally, I'm the voice of the Goblin King, so I'm like so close to noble, but not quite.
Okay. How long have you been working with these hobgoblins?
Well, it's been about 6 months since the renegotiation of leadership.
Okay. And so how far down has that moved you from true leadership?
Well, Sid, there used to be like a Goblin King who was a goblins, and now there's 4 hobgoblins and no goblins, kings. So pretty far.
Okay. Before we actually get to the door, can I have a moment with our companions away, just out of earshot of the goblins?
Oh, sure, you can hang back and chat nonchalantly.
Okay. I talked to the crew. They've made a lot of comments about not thinking this would work out, and they don't seem too pleased with the hobgoblins. If we befriend them, maybe they could have our back.
I like that idea.
Kind of like a overthrowing of the regime of hobgoblins.
Intimidation works too.
Well, they're friendly right now, so intimidation I don't think is the way to go about it.
They do seem a little thick, yeah.
You know, I had already scheduled insurrection for next week Thursday. I guess we could move it up a bit. I mean, if we had to, yeah, yes.
So I'm hearing several plans, and what I will ask you to do is please narrow those plans down to one actionable skill roll. So intimidation certainly possible, persuasion, maybe even deception, but I need a front man, and then I feel you have a supporting cast, so I feel like advantage on whichever role you guys choose for the sponsor.
Okay, my vote. I think, Shanann, if you tell them that we will help them overthrow the hobgoblins, if you persuade them on that, they might bite.
I mean, I would agree. Is this yeah, I mean, that's the first question. What if we could just get in and get out and actually just do this the way it was supposed to be? Are we trying for that? I feel like messing in goblin politics might be a smidgen beneath us. And I would prefer to just, execute and go. But I'm totally on board with this being a backup plan.
Goblins have politics.
Okay, then let's just get in, get out. No funny business.
I'm up for anything.
I mean, if we want to plant these seeds before we go in, I would also not object to that.
Well then, why don't we do that? Why don't we ask, if things go bad, ask them to have our backs, and we'll give them the Goblin Kingdom. And if not, we'll get in, get out, and everything will be all right.
Oh, it's so optimistic. It's like you've never read a tragedy before.
So hang on. I will give you guys a little coaching there. As you're like, well, if we try and get them to admit to insurrection, but then don't do that, that'll probably go bad. So I'm okay with you going for insurrection, but you can't ask them to get ready to riot and then be like, no, it's fine. We got paid. No riot today.
They're goblins. They're not the most intelligent.
I feel like that's just asking for trouble, but I'm
Okay.
fair. Let's do it. So get ready to riot, guys.
Shanann is our front man
Anarchy.
because he has the highest charismatic character.
Okay. So Shanann, as you approach, may I hear the pitch and may I see the roll
Yes.
with advantage?
Yes. Before you summon and we approach for this negotiation, I'd like to just pique your interest with the super abridged version of the tragedy of King Lingob, and I'll use all three of the others as actors in the shortest skit ever, in which small creatures rebel against their larger creatures and regain control of whatever they were holding.
Okay. Were we going for performance?
Yes.
Okay.
Alright.
Sure. Ooh, good thing you had that advantage.
Gosh.
So as the goblins look on in awe at this impromptu skit, and they try and suss out the meaning for it, we're gonna go ahead and roll the old wisdom check here.
Oh boy.
And boy, they can't even win, even if they try. Let's see. Nope. They are hook, line, and sinker. So they're all about it. They're like, yeah, anarchy, yeah, war. Huh. What's it good for? So they're all in. They got their skinny jeans on. They strap on their studded leather bracelets. Ready to go. So, seeing this, the less radical of the goblins scamper. They make themselves a little bit scarce. And you are marched forward into a grand hall. So come on forward, if you would.
I would like to remain somewhat in the back.
Sure. So as you enter a large room, what once might have been a cathedral is now a goblin lair. Thick with the filth of years of goblin life, scores of wall and floor-mounted sconces filled with violet glowing fungi provide illumination. Dozens of goblins were going about their daily business, but now they're like, yeah, this looks like a soccer match is about to break out. Time to head. There's a lot of rudeness and violence, but, no more so than any mall during a sale. Along the southern wall is a heaping pile of assorted items, including wagon wheels, broken armor, rusted weapons, chests, small statues, antiques, furniture, artwork, little bird cages with dead birds in it. It's just a mess. But it looks like a, dragon horde for goblins. Your two escorts lead you forward to a door set into a round wall and open it. Inside, you can see a circular shaft pierces the floor of this 40-foot diameter domed chamber. Dim violet light shines out of the shaft, revealing sickly white and gray vines that coat the walls of it. The light is supplemented by 4 lit wall torches set around the periphery of the chamber. A crudely fashioned stone throne sits against the curve of the northwestern wall, and a large iron chest serves as a footstool to the hobgoblin reclined on the throne. A sapling is growing in a wide stone pot next to the throne. Based on his armor, based on his demeanor, and the fact that he's sitting on the throne, you would assume this to be Dern, the hobgoblin from whom you were supposed to ransom the children. 3 other hobgoblins and 1 more goblin are in the room. Your escorts stand to either side of the doorway, gesturing you forward. Yeah, go ahead in. Just give us the old wink and nod.
Classic subtle wink and nod.
Maybe
Okay.
give us finger crossbows.
Okay. Well, obviously Kaylin's going in first.
Oh, yeah. I can't.
I would like to be as close to the door as possible. Because they didn't say they're shutting the door behind us, right?
Oh no, we'll keep it open.
Okay,
Or
so
you want it closed? You tell us.
nope, we'll leave it open, and I would like to just stand right there by the door.
Yeah. The goblin puts his finger aside his nose like secret.
Yeah. I like that goblin. Can I give him a name?
That particular one already has a name, but you can name some of the other ones.
All right. His buddy's Geppetto.
His buddy is Geppetto. Fair deal.
Okay.
And as a shameless plug for the stream, one of the other features that we have on the Silver Store is purchasing aspects of personalities for NPCs. So if you follow up and watch, that is an option.
There you go.
Cool.
But we'll throw you a freebie because you guys are so amazingly well right now. So as you make your way into the room, Dern leans forward, resting an elbow on his knee. Huge wonkin weapon sitting next to him, dressed in armor. Yeah. You bring my money.
Did you bring the children? And he kind of says it standing behind Kalen, trying to make it like Kalen saying that. Because the guy's wearing armor, and clearly this guy only respects fighters.
Of course.
So as you put words in Kalen's mouth, give me a quick investigation.
Global or me?
Just you.
Oof.
There's a slight pause as Dern replies, "Oh, let me see the color of your gold first. I know you adventuring types. You're always looking to pull a fast one."
I point at him like I'm getting ready to talk, and then I shove an elbow behind me.
Well, yeah. Push, and then I'll. Who actually took our satchel of gold? Like, did we ever decide who took the ransom money?
I was assuming you guys had it spread out amongst you just for safety's sake, but you can condense it easily and have gold available to you.
I like it being spread out. That sounds like a good idea. I will take a piece out as I drop the bag on the ground and flick him the piece.
He takes the piece up, he looks it over. He reaches over and grabs the little goblin next to him, squeezes the back of its head so its mouth opens, then presses down so it bites the gold and bends the thing. Well, looks good. Drops the gold on the floor. Now, there's been a little bit of a change in the deal. The children went a little off. So, I have these for you. And he drops 2 signet rings on the ground. I figure half will be fair.
I cross my arms and look at him with like a look that you'd give somebody if you was getting ready to charge them.
Oh, no.
That wasn't what was agreed to.
I'll hand my bag to Shanann so that he can drop it as well.
Okay.
That is not what we agreed to, or I'm sorry, I didn't agree. I am just a mover. That was not what was agreed to. We'll need more information before we can make that decision for our employer. So, can you define off and also how you got those rings off of them? Please tell me it was not by cutting off their fingers.
What do you think I am, some sort of animal? No, those children were spoiled when they got here, and they started rotting from the inside out. Had to send them below.
Below.
And as he says below, he gestures forward, and you can see that pit goes down quite a ways. Since this was once the top floor of the castle, you imagine some 100 feet below, maybe less, maybe more, would be the bottom of the castle. Kalen, you're much closer. You can kind of lean forward and be like, No, it's not a 100-foot pit. It's like 30.
Is it?
At this point, like, it's clearly not just a cut and dry thing anymore. Shanae is kind of gesturing to those behind as well. Like, this is much more of a group conversation at this point. Because the deal is not easy. So here we are.
Okay. At the gesture, I'll move in to here, and I'll tell Baron to shut the door behind him.
Do so and shut the door.
You get a last little good luck thumbs up from the goblins outside.
Nice. Goblin inspiration.
You know what? Yes, Baron, take goblin inspiration. Why not?
Oh boy.
You have a D6 goblin inspiration.
Sweet.
I like it. Let's give you inspiration. Powered up.
I do apologize. We're not from here. We will need more information about down below. What exactly rotting from the inside means. I mean, I'm sure that they were spoiled brats and that they're terrible people. But you seem to be much more literal in your words.
Yeah, one of the most literate hobgoblins you'll meet. Anyway, I don't feel like talking. Just give me my gold, take your rings, and get going.
We can't go without the kids. That's why we came. Would somebody take us down and show us where they are, or be our guide?
That seems like you might be trying to investigate the situation, or perhaps gain some insight, or some other thing that's related to a skill roll.
Sure.
I'm willing to hear arguments to other skill rolls.
Nope. That's gonna be awesome. All right. So, which would you prefer, insight or?
Oh no, this is your choice. What are you attempting to do?
All right, I will do insight after asking the question to see kind of what his reaction is.
Let's see it. All right, you can see just a momentary flash of fear, mixed with some respect, but mostly, yeah, I don't want to be down there. Before he responds,
That's no business of yours. Down below is down below.
Okay. Well, it is our business since it was our quest. And we were told it was a simple come give you the money and leave with the children, but
It's simple. Come give me the money and leave.
It seems as though we have another aspect now where we have to go retrieve the children after you sent them down below. We don't know what below is.
Tell me, have you been down below?
I got no business being down there. Neither do you.
Curiosity always got the better.
Well, you ain't one of them tabaxi, but curiosity'll still kill you. Now, I'm getting tired of this. Let's see some gold and let's see your backs as you out of here.
Can we do a brief, out of character chat?
Sure.
Guys, because I don't know what our trigger would have been for kick the door open and give out finger crossbows, but I feel like we probably passed that about 2 minutes of conversation with this hobgoblin ago, and I don't know how the rest of you guys feel, so I just wanted to open floor.
Well, I was just gonna send your character a message about leaving seeing if we can leave a bag. If they're from the same family, one signet ring would be good enough because they both should be the same. Just giving a bag for one ring and leaving.
Yeah, I guess that would have been the conversation off screen of when's cut our losses kick in.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be a check-in with Baron and Kaylin.
So nobody wants to try to take these guys?
Negative.
Okay.
I'm thinking cutting our losses at this point will be great.
I mean, I'm interested to hear both sides of the argument, because that's a fat bag of gold that we'll get to take if we don't have to pay this guy the ransom.
Correct. We could pocket them ourselves.
Fair point.
Obviously, we'd have to return it if we're returning Sen's kids. So...
I would never tell anybody what to do. This is just a idea. But persuasion.
You do
can work.
have goblin friends.
That too.
That's another point. We kind of riled up the goblins, and I feel like if we don't activate them, that will also be a problem.
I've got a lot of peanut anger on top.
Okay, so what if we gave the finger crossbows, and in the commotion, Baron went up, grabbed a ring, and we got out. He's a halfling. He could do it.
Yeah.
Because then we don't even have to give any gold. We each keep a bag, we get a ring, and we let him go during the commotion of the goblins.
Yeah, Shanann probably would like that plan, mostly on the fact that it's just fucking batshit crazy. But also mildly reasonable.
Alright, so that's the plan?
I'm down.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, I feel like that would have also, like, this line of conversation would have triggered the finger crossbows naturally, so I feel very good about it.
Okay.
Alright.
So, let me ask, because it seems like we're about to kick into action mode here. Let me ask everybody to go ahead and click their tokens, add themselves to the turn order.
My initiatives have been terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you have goblin inspiration.
You do have
Actually-
Goblin Inspiration. You could add Goblin Inspiration to your initiative if you chose.
You could.
I'm
going to Devil's Advocate that going last in initiative is better.
not going to use my inspiration on initiative roll. It'll be fine.
Use it on the sneak.
Yeah, that's
see,
what
I
I'm
see.
thinking.
Okay.
I
So
don't wanna
I
mess up on that.
have some representative hobgoblins and goblins on the board. Others may be added depending on what actions take place. So as you prepare to give the finger guns, Shanann, you are the first one to be like, it's go time. Shanann, what do you do first? And you can do nothing, that's a choice, but you have the option of going first.
So I'm going to yeah, I think I'll just take the bag that Atala had handed me.
Mhm.
No, we agreed on not throwing money. Okay. It's not going to work without it. So I'll take the bag that I dropped on the floor, and I will throw it over to him. And before I start, and obviously before I walk around and grab a ring, count that, make sure that it's to your satisfaction. I'm assuming that he will count it sometime around the number 12, and when he counts it, I will open the door and give finger guns as a ready to action.
Sounds good. A bag of coins is lobbed, and if you would do me the favor of making me a d20 roll and just don't roll a 1. With a 1, that lobbed bag might be going down the hole.
I put a
And
0
it's not a
on
1.
the end of it, so.
That is fine. So bag, ka-chunk. Dern leans down, starts to pick it up. Kalen, as Dern starts to look towards his gold, what are you doing?
Well, I've got my hands on my sides and I'm observing the room, and I find that this is a mighty fine circle.
Perfectly symmetrical.
Yep. 22 divided by 7, right here. Representative. Any other activity? And as we step down, Atala.
I'm going to take a second. I'm going to survey the room to each of the other hobgoblins, as well as Dern, and just mentally, like Sherlock Holmes, plan my first shot if it goes that way.
Okay. You got it. So you're starting to survey the room.
Right.
Okay. Dern does indeed reach down.
Reasonable folk.
Picks up his new pouch of coins and starts pawing his way through it. And I think that might trigger something.
Yeah, once he's all settled up, like once he's deep into that bag, that's the door open, and that's some finger crossbows.
All right. You look out. Finger crossbows. You hear, "There! Stand before hobgoblin! What are you guys doing?" And they look at you, who are obviously not in combat right now, and they're like, Are you guys gonna start something, or are you just expecting them to rush to their deaths?
I mean, as soon as Shannon has given a finger crossbow, he has gone for his actual crossbow.
Okay. Just want to make sure that you're not like, they start rushing forward, you take a step back. Just want to make sure. So, goblins begin rushing across. Yeah! You guys are in the way! Get out of the way! Burn! Where's everybody in the way? And, they launch a volley of arrows from short bows at Dern. Dern. 1, 2, 3. God damn goblins!
There we go.
Ooh!
Holy crap!
Anarchy.
Yeah, don't piss off goblins. What the hell? 12, 16, 19.
Yeah, Geppetto.
Jesus Christ. Dern is just pincushioned and immediately goes into shock, falling unconscious from blood loss. Good plan, using the goblin horde. Baron, having seen this, you're like, boy, picking pocket him is going to be super easy. But there's some very angry hobgoblins right now. What are you doing?
That's a good question.
God damn it, goblins.
Oh, let me see here. There's nothing in this room I can hide behind, right?
Not. I mean, there's your friends. You are a halfling, so you can hide behind anyone larger.
I'm gonna up to here.
Sure.
I'm gonna have my longsword and dagger out.
Certainly may. And anything else?
Nothing but a hole, so I can't really hide. So I'm just gonna stand here for now and pass my turn.
Okay, are you taking the dodge action, which would give any attackers disadvantage?
Yes, actually, I'll take that dodge action.
Sounds good. Shanann.
Note to self: hire goblins. Never thought I would say that.
I mean,
Does Kalen look like he's going west or north?
Kaylin, where do you look like you're headed?
Ish. You can still change your mind on your turn. Totally don't care. Just, which way is your heavy armor dragging you in a leaning format?
I'm leaning towards the king.
Like that way or like that way? Cool. Then, seeing that he's going to go that way, and trusting him to do what he always does, which is clog up the works, I'm going to shoot at this one up here.
Sure. $15, unfortunately, no. Not on these well-armored hobgoblins. Anything else for you?
I shot that just like I did all the other ones. All the other ones hit. I don't know what's going on. This might be not as smooth. Okay, Kaelin, good luck. I only got one inspiration left. I can't give you actual good luck.
You fiend.
So, So, Kaelin, as you declare his fiendishness, what else going on?
I'll look over to my left, and I will go after this guy right.
Certainly may.
And
One-handed longsword. 16, unfortunately, no. Will not hit the hobgoblin.
Oh boy.
They've got armor. Kaelin, anything else for you?
no, I'm too disappointed in myself.
Well, you guys have done well so far. You're 1 for 4. Atala, how about you? What are we doing?
All right, my pre-lined up shot is going after this guy.
Okay.
Get some.
Sure do. 6 points of damage dealt. Hobgoblin starts to look bad. Atala, anything else for you?
Okay, I'm gonna yell out to Geppetto and his boys to spread out and conquer.
All right. They're like spread out kind of like, no, reservoir in little packs and run away as fast.
Okay.
So that brings up the unconscious Dern and his hobgoblin cronies. Hobgoblins start to move forward. Kaelin, you've got 2 on you. They are attacking longswords, one-handed. 17? Kaelin, I think you've got an 18 armor class, so I believe that'll miss you. Second hobgoblin on Kaelin. 10, no. Hobgoblin on Baron with disadvantage. Baron, a 16?
That hits.
7 points of damage, and you see, for just a moment, that hobgoblin look to its left and its right, searching for an ally that it can use to do really, really horrible things to you, but no one nearby. So that brings up Renel.
Oh, he hit me.
Oh, he hit you. 7 points of slashing damage.
That brings me to like the -1.
Ooh. Baron falls unconscious.
No.
Ugh.
You are thrashing about on the ground. We'll talk about that in 1 second. Grenel is torn. Goblins on one side, hobgoblins on the other. Grenel in the middle. Can I have who was it? Baron who shouted goblins spread out and attack?
No, it was Atala.
Atala, would you do me a favor and roll me some sort of command, whether that be an intimidation or a persuasion, your choice.
Both not looking good, but can I use my inspiration on it?
You can use your bardic inspiration to raise that a bit higher if you...
Here we go.
Brings that up to an 11. That's a respectable number. Grenell, the goblin, standing next to the unconscious Dern, thinks, will this party be able to handle these hobgoblins? And decides, yes, they will. Grenell takes a dagger and just thunk right into Dern's throat. Starting to finish off the unconscious chief. The other goblins, very comfortable, more than 10 feet away from the hobgoblins, start firing past Kalen at this fellow right here. Goblins, let's see what you can do here, guys. You've been hired. Yeah, no, that first run is probably all you guys were good for. The arrows go stray. Baron, as you lay unconscious on the ground, I will need to ask for a death saving throw, please. And I believe that's right towards the middle of your sheet.
You could use an inspiration for that, right? Or not?
No, it's just a straight D20. That is 1 to the positive.
Woo.
Maybe you'll survive. Boop. 1 positive death save. Shanane, you got a man down, or half a man down at least.
Wow, short jump.
We have a heightist on our hand.
Hey,
I
come
can't
on.
believe it.
And this is the part where Shanann catches flack later from Baron. He's going to, seeing Kalen get engaged on by 2 of them, I'm assuming that they look like they're trying to work together. I'm going to cast Fairy Fire in a cube that hits these 2 hobs.
Sure can. Hobgoblins, that's dexterity saving throws? Dexterity saving throws. Top to bottom, number 1. Number 2. Ooh, one of them is lit up like a Christmas tree. The other is not. That looks like fairy fire.
Free action to grab somebody by the ankle? Or grapple?
What are we trying to do?
Pull this guy. Pull.
Oh, sure. Free action to pick up an object. We will objectify Baron.
Short and lightweight jokes. I love it. We're gonna pull him down, and then
Sure.
shove him behind me.
Okay. That used up double movement, so you're pretty close to out of movement.
Yeah.
Shanann, anything else?
Nope, that looks great.
All right. Kalen, the hobgoblin to the north is now lit up. Very tempting target. You would have advantage. One to the south, unscathed and not glowing. What are you doing?
I look to him and I focus on slashing at his throat. Then I look at him and say, "Don't lose your head."
Oh,
Yes.
With advantage, yes, please. Let's see it. Oh no, even with advantage, a 13 will not do. Kalen, you are a bulwark, but you are not a death machine. Any other activity for you?
No.
All right. Atala,
I'm going to shoot at that bad boy right there.
as Baron just bleeds slowly onto the floor. Atala, go ahead and take the shot. No, longbow shot goes stray. Any movement or other activity?
Yes, I'm going to move in front of Baron.
Ooh, you are brave.
Oof.
And as your bravery is rewarded, the hobgoblin steps up and swings a longsword at you. Atala does a
Miss.
15 hit. Ooh, nice.
Not with my actual AC.
Not with the actual AC. Kalen, we've got two coming at you, Kalen. Number one, a 16's going to miss, and number two, 12's also going to miss. You guys have survived the round. Our goblin crew is going to unleash Heck. Hobgoblin to the north with advantage, with the fairy fire. 1, 2, 3. That might do it. Yes. Hobgoblin goes down. Number 4 fires at the hobgoblin, trying to free up Atala. That seems reasonable. Atala's hobgoblin. Ah. Good job, goblins.
That last round was their reloading round.
Bet the party's glad they didn't fight the goblins. Baron, I need to ask you for another one of those death saves.
Not gonna make fun of my height.
I would never make fun of your height. There's not enough of it.
No.
That's going to be one on the fail side, unfortunately.
Falling short, Baron's life story.
God damn.
Shanann, as it starts to disintegrate into bad jokes, what are you doing?
Hitting me while I'm down.
Well, I mean, at this point, yeah, it's all about stopping this guy from bleeding out. So we're gonna stop him from bleeding out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean to say, I'm gonna try to stop him from bleeding out.
Okay.
Hey!
You do.
Hey.
Baron, you have graduated from dying to just unconscious. But you are stable. Shanann, anything else for you?
I'm gonna draw a dagger in my other hand.
Okay.
And move to this side.
All right. A lot of bravery happening here. Kalen, it has come back around to you.
I look at him and I point at him with my sword and I say, I can't miss this time.
You know, you say that.
He's Babe
I
Ruthing him. Swinging for the fences.
Boy, howdy, do you. 8 points slashing damage. The hobgoblin suddenly seems to respect your attacks, but is still in the fight. Kalen, any other activity for you?
Would intimidation be a full action?
So at this point, the battle's going against them. You could probably try and intimidate, but they don't seem to expect much in the way of leniency. You've got goblins on your team, and they're dirty throat slitters.
What was the answer? I cut out.
Oh, sorry. Yes, it would be a full action.
Okay, all right. I just have a look of satisfaction on my face, and end of.
All right. Atala.
Okay, as I dodged his last strike, I'm going to drop my bow, grab my short sword, and do a nice little slicing motion.
Sure. Boy, howdy. Wow. That is a heck of a slicing motion you've got there, Atala, as that does drop the hobgoblin. He falls. Anything else for you?
Yeah, I'm going to move up around this way.
All right. As Atala moves, Hobgoblin looks around, realizes his chances are slim at the moment, and just needs to get some space to work. He reaches out. He grabs... don't hit that button. He reaches out. He grabs Kalen and tries to grapple with him. Kalen, please give me a athletics or acrobatics and roll higher than a 10. Yes, you do. The hobgoblin tries to grab hold of you, but whoop, nope, you are kind of slick for wearing that much armor. It's a little weird. Probably all that growth. It's that rash. Goblins, short bows, 1, 2, 3, 4. They will assist you all in finishing off your enemies. And with that, the hobgoblin threat is removed. Congratulations.
Here we go. I'm gonna give Geppetto a high five.
Ugh! High five. He carries around a little wooden doll. It's actually super creepy for the next part of the session. I just realized, I'm like, wait, no, maybe he doesn't. Suck it up, goblins! So the goblins are all in full riot mode. They're charging past you, scooping up gold, going for the ring, shoving Dern off the throne as they each dance atop it in turn. What are you all doing?
You're gonna hear just Baron snoring on the ground.
Baron is snoring on the ground, isn't
he? Yes.
So, Baron, good news. Grennel, who executed Dern, is a spellcaster and does come over and bestow upon you a few meager hit points, which bring you back to consciousness. Only a few seconds into the full-on riot that's breaking out right now. What are the rest of you doing as Baron is being tended to by Grennel?
While they're rioting, knowing I have a few minutes, can I come just kind of check out this area to see if I see anything of note that would be used for medicinal purposes?
Sure. So go on, head down that way. Who else is doing what else?
I am frantically scooping up all of the gold that is actually ours, and then trying to get to the rings and being like, please, some of this is actually ours, and while I appreciate your reveling, please do not tamper with what we own and what we came here for.
Sure. You know, as you start to try and espouse this new theory, they're like, no, man, you gotta believe we have seized the production. Down with capitalism, communism forever. And they're like, share the gold equally, and they take the gold and they're throwing it all amongst themselves. It's going to be kind of difficult to recover. But if you would like, perhaps a sleight of hands or some other quick grabby skill might obtain those special signet rings.
Yes, that is really... As soon as there are all the gold for everyone, nope, just rings. Yeah, I was due for a botch.
That's not so great. So we might have to do a little negotiation afterwards. Who else has not yet made a declaration?
I'm just taken aback by the circle, man.
Kalen is just on it. And you know what? It's a circle within a circle. And if you look down further, you can see where the circle narrows. So it's like a circle within a circle within a circle. And I mean, it's beautiful. The whole circle of light. And you're like, oh, wait, that smell. There's a lot of funk coming up from below. So that is Kalen, that's Atala, that is Shanann. Baron, you are a few seconds behind the others, but eventually you are brought to consciousness. What are you doing?
How much health do I have? Or is it just here?
We'll just round up to, full.
Okay. I'm just gonna look around and sit up. What the hell happened?
What the hell happened indeed? So, You look around. The hobgoblins lay dead. Their arms and armor weapons and armor are being torn off them. Not their arms. Goblins are tiny guys. So armor's flying everywhere. You hear the cries of the revolution. Hammer and sickle go up. All that stuff's happening. So you see Shanann intently scrambling about on the floor, chasing something in sort of like 80s comedy fashion, where like one person kicks it and then it goes one way and then it bounces off someone else's elbow and goes the other way. You figure out it's the rings after a second, so that's the obvious goal in the room.
I'm going to try to snatch those rings.
You certainly may.
Sleight of hand, I'm guessing.
And give me any skill that you can argue for.
He's going to try to crawl over and just trying to snatch them away real quick.
Sure.
Would that be like stealth and then sleight of hand?
I will take a straight stealth. If you think you can ambush the ring, sneak up on it. That's pretty good
There we
stuff.
go.
I didn't think you were gonna. I was setting the DC high on that one, but that ring is caught off guard. So between you and Shanann, you ambush the rings, lock them down, and you now have the 2 signet rings of the children.
I walk back and I lean into Shanann. I got it. And you'll flash him the rings.
Oh, I was gonna resort to starting to use my horns to try to loop them. It's getting ridiculous in here.
We started goblin communism.
Yeah, it's getting wild in here. More goblins are pouring in from all different sides. They're carrying all the other ones that have gone into hiding are coming out. Celebration. Somebody comes in carrying a big barrel on their shoulder, and they set it down and they smash it in, and elf pudding goes flying everywhere.
Elf pudding.
So I don't have. It's a barrel. It's labeled elf pudding. Do with it what you wish.
Nope.
Nope. There we go. Sorry, Vel. What was that?
I may be allergic to this. I think I'll stay away.
Tomato-free elf pudding. As all these things happen, you realize there's only 2 real choices here. Down in the pit, or back to the lady. If you head back to the lady, you can pick up the ranger's body on the way, and there's still that creepy door. Now, of course, with all this revelry, no one's going to begrudge you an hour or so of rest. So, if any of you would benefit from a short rest, you may take it. But I think hit die may have already been expended for most of you.
Correct. Do you want me to roll to find any medicinal things in the pile?
So the pile, that pile has everything and the kitchen sink in it. Give me a moment to review my stuffs.
Okay.
We are looking for things that can heal. Grenell has exhausted his spell on Baron. Dern himself, you do discover, as you're asking around for healing things, one of the goblins offers up another potion of healing and 2 vials of antitoxin.
Okay.
So you do add a potion of healing and 2 vials of antitoxin to the party's supplies.
Okay.
The gold is spread around. All the goblins get a little bit. You each get 2 or 3 of your gold back.
Is that including the 2 that didn't throw their bags? Or is that just the bags that Shanann and I gave up?
You're still holding on the bags that you did not throw. The bags that were thrown have now been distributed to the people
By the people.
by the people.
For the people.
A Congress is being held. Constitutions are being drafted. All these things have happened.
And that's when we take our short rest.
Potion of healing and 2 vials of antitoxin are the only medicinal items that you discover of power and use. You do find things, bandages, willow bark, that sort of stuff, which will ease pain and stop bleeding, but they won't regain hit points.
Okay. If I can gather up most of that stuff, however much
Mhm.
I would be allowed to, and then you said there were chests also down here.
So there's a yes, they're all broken, caved in, but you can get one to carry stuff in if you're looking for it.
Well, I was gonna say, is there anything shiny and sparkly that I
No,
see within them?
No, nothing shining and sparkly. This horde has been well picked over,
Okay.
and you suspect, based on the size of Dern and his love for gold, anything shiny would
Was
have been
taken.
in there.
Okay. Then with that, I will head back up here to see what the group is doing.
Sure. You see the rings recovered. You see Kaylin admiring the circle.
So beautiful.
And then, what's all happening?
Guys,
Rest happens.
I mean, I'm worried. Like, I'm worried that you guys are pretty tapped out, right? Little one and elf bow slinging person.
I'm feeling all right. I've been stable for a little bit. It hurts if I do weird motions, but I can shoot straight, which is all I need to do.
I've seen the light.
With that, I will hand him the potion of healing. If he's seeing light in a dark citadel, we're having some issues.
I mean, there is a purplish glow coming up from down below. It's a very unhealthy looking color too. It's just the worst.
Well, it's purple.
I mean, but it's fungus glow purple, so it's a
Gotcha.
bad purple.
Hey,
There you go.
that one actually healed you.
I know.
All right. So, like, you guys both tap out of character. Both of you guys tapped your hit dice after short rest. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Okay. So I mean,
I did. Are we only allowed to do it once per game, or every time we rest?
So your hit dice only recover on a long rest. So the short rest, you can use your hit dice, but you don't get your hit dice back until after a long rest. And you will not have time for a long rest before you need to do something.
Okay, then I'll definitely use the hit dice. Then.
Sure.
I mean, I'm down with going into the pit. Atala, I think you're the one of concern. If you're saying you're good,
My thought is if I'll move in to talk to you. I say we talk to the goblins and see if they know what's down in the pit, and see if they know what happened to the kids, because it was probably them that took the kids down there, unless he just threw them, which then they're probably not alive.
And as you're discussing that, the goblin next to you is, "Oh no, the landing is soft, man. It's fence. We go throw down there all the time. Dern's an ass."
Is it soft because of other bodies?
Oh no, it's moss. It's fungus, it's fun.
Okay, is there another way down besides jumping in the pit?
Oh sure, you can climb down the vines.
Are there monsters down in the pits?
Oh yeah, there's monsters. There's the undeads. and there's the little spiky prints, and there's the berg bears, and there's the bad things.
Oh, that sounds like a lovely time.
But it's fine. We has a little factory down there. We make we make goods for the distinguished gentlemen.
Okay. Would a group of you like to show us around down there?
No.
Fucking typical goblin answer.
He said it was fun. I thought maybe.
Where it's fun for our first timers. We're bored of it. We've been there so many times.
Okay.
Like that sounds like a fucking death trap, guys. I'm sorry. That sounds like a fucking death trap.
Agreed.
Like everything combined there, that sounds like a nightmare.
Right.
I don't know if I want to see death again.
I know about.
I say we just head back to the lady. Let's get the ranger. Let's get out of here. Let's go.
Think about the possible adventures.
No.
I mean,
Listen
don't get me
here.
wrong. I want to write about that shit too, but like,
Hey, Kaylin, you go first. We're right behind you.
So as you talk this over and you like think about the adventures, the goblin's like,
Oh, you want to go down there? Hey, no problems. You guys, you are friends of the goblins. You come by anytime, and we'll throw you down the hole. No problem.
Willie,
Gee golly, thanks.
Like a hoot and a holler.
All right, so he just said we're welcome back anytime. Let's get out. Let's go at least complete section 1, return the ranger, and then we'll see if we can get other people to come back and help us out, or other gear so that we can be healed in the process. Maybe a prayer of blessing over us as well.
are we coming back here?
it's certainly an option to you.
That's
What?
my vote.
Wouldn't she expect the kids' bodies as well as the rangers? I mean,
Well, she could go down there and get them themselves if she wants to.
So I'll step out of the characters for a moment. I was thinking at this spot it would be a little more clear cut that this would be a we'll come back round 2 kind of thing. If that didn't come across, I'll work on a better way to present that to you. But you guys have basically worked out that, yeah, we should probably go back to town, rest, get the benefits of long rest, which might also include like a ding level up, and then maybe come back.
Oh, no. I
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
going
it-
down
no.
there.
It's very clear. GTFO. We'll see you again next time.
Okay. So, GTFO. We'll assume you guys have talked your way around to that one and come up with an agreeable to the party. Yep, you know what? We should probably get climbing gear or like a rope ladder or something. These vines look dicey. And that lady at the general store will be happy to supply those sorts of things to us.
Yeah, tomato vines.
Tomato vines. The fruit of the tomato is the sweetest fruit. So, as you make your way back out, you didn't think it would be easy, did you?
Oh, boy.
Oh, of course. We already cleared everything.
Did you? Because I remember there being something you didn't clear.
Hmm.
There's just a fire-breathing dragon.
There is a fire-breathing dragon. I mean, that's true. So as you make your way back through the tunnels, you recover the Ranger Caracas's body, and you drag it, bumping along, past where the dragon's breath still flickers faintly out of the statue. The door to the west creaks open, seemingly in response to the presence of Caracas's dead body.
Okay.
That's not creepy.
Inside, you're able to see some things. 5 dusty sarcophagi, 3 to the north, 2 to the south, stand on end in this silent chamber. Each of the carved stone coffins resembles a noble, elf-like humanoid in ceremonial robes. An altar, with images of dragons carved into its black obsidian, is set in the center of the west wall. A single candle burns brightly on the altar. Next to the candle are a small whistle and a crystal flask.
Okay.
Baron, you want to go first?
Boy, do I.
Well, hold on a second. The door, when we remember, if we remember what it said banish evil and open. We were able to decipher that much.
It said something more like death than evil.
Okay. So
The dead.
banish the dead, or ban. Shanann, do you remember what it said?
Well, I haven't the foggiest. That was so long ago. It's it's just so much.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it was Banish the Dead.
It was banish the dead, open.
Okay. We haven't banished anything that was dead except for this ranger's body, which is dead. Everything we killed was alive, not even undead. That's a little weird.
How much is a crystal flask worth?
How much is a crystal flask worth on the open market?
Give or take, yeah.
And would you say it's filled with anything, or just a basic crystal flask?
Let's assume that it's filled with nothing valuable.
Filled with nothing valuable. You would say that a crystal flask filled with nothing valuable would easily fetch 10 gold on the open market?
Yeah, see, here we go. This is gonna, we're gonna have to give back our ransom to what's-her-face, we're gonna need supply money. This is probably our best bet. Yeah, it's creepy.
I like money.
We're not going to have to give it back because we can just say we traded the gold rings. We don't have to give it back. She gave it to us knowing we were going to give it. We don't have to give the gold. That's pocketed.
I find the ranger's body wherever we have it.
Mm-hmm.
It's tied to your back. You're the biggest, strongest person.
So you guys are kind of towing it along on a sledge at the moment, but you can do with it as you wish.
I'm just a tool. I unloose it for a moment. And I slap it in the face as hard as I can to see if it moves at all.
Oh.
You're like,
Disrespect.
back! And, I mean, it was already dead, chewed on, so that head swings around unnaturally far before it stops with a creak. And you're like, yeah, super dead. Super dead. Super dead.
I think he's dead.
Oh, yes, but Carolyn has a great idea. And I'm going to take that body and I'm going to throw it into that room.
That poor body.
I'm going to want to be at this wall and out of the doorway in case something comes flying out.
Like a body just came flying in.
Right.
Go ahead and give me a strength athletics, please, on the body throw.
Oh, I'm just trying to get it 5 feet into the room, so.
Oh, okay, yeah,
as
no
long
problem.
as
You
it's
just
a 5. Oh, I mean, I'm gonna go for broke.
There you go.
Ooh.
I think that was a good throw.
At 10 feet.
All right, so let's do a thing here. Let's pick Let's pick you.
Back in 30 seconds.
Oh.
All right, so you're sitting here, and you're all kinds of dead. Blech. Laying on the ground is a body of a ranger, Caracas the Ranger. Nothing appears to have happened.
Okay. I'm gonna turn around to Baron and be like, "Is there anything you want in this room?"
I mean, the flask is nice. It's the only really nice thing in there I can see that catches my eyes.
Okay. You
Now,
being
actually, give me, as someone who's catching things' eyes, a perception or investigation.
Okay. Do a perception.
Sure can. So as you look over the room, you're like, yeah, wait. Candles last, like, not long. And that candle's been there for a while now. Probably something funky with that candle. And Baron, you're like, is it a birthday candle?
Is it someone's birthday today? Tell her I didn't know.
So
Happy
Sinead-
birthday
Sinead
to
just
you.
starts singing.
Happy birthday to you.
Wait, you're making me blush.
So as you look into the room at the shiny candle, this crystal flask, the small crystal whistle, the 5 sarcophagi, and the dead body on the floor. What y'all doing?
Guys, I kind of feel like an idiot.
The start of every great sentence. Why is that, Kaylin?
We're just standing here waiting for something to happen. We just threw a body for no reason into a room with a candle. No reason to be lit.
Well, my idea is so far every room that we seem to go into that looks okay is not. But Baron, being a halfling and good on his feet, is the only one that could potentially get in there and get out quickly.
I can do that, yeah.
He can run in, grab the flask, get out, and then we GTFO.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's my thought.
I like that.
Kaylin, if you want to pick up the body, you can just pull him out of the doorway.
Well, that's inside. I stay outside.
Well, okay. I mean, like, I'm not one for physical labor, but I threw the body in there. I'll go pull it out.
The dead stay dead.
Famous last words.
So Sinead, you go ahead and get a hold of the body, start dragging it out. You get it harnessed back up so Kaylin can move effectively with it. So it's all strapped back down to a little sledge. And so the plan is that the party gets ready to go, and then Baron does a dash in, dash out kind of thing.
Yeah, dash in, get the flask and whistle, I assume.
Well,
Okay.
I bet. Let's just go for one.
Okay.
See how it goes, and then if
I'll
you
go
want to
for-
go round 2, you can go round 2. I would like to ready an arrow in case something comes popping out of a sarcophagi.
I mean, it seems very likely something will come popping out of a sarcophagi. This is Dungeons & Dragons.
Right.
So, if I could ask everyone to go ahead and roll themselves onto the initiative.
That's a good sign.
Hey, my first good initiative roll.
Oh, my 6.
And Baron, where are you going to start your dash from?
I'm gonna I'm gonna go through like here.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna show you where I'm going. Then I'm gonna go like here, and then here, and then straight to the flask. That's
Okay.
my go-to.
All right. So let's take it over to Baron's turn here. Baron, start making your movements. 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay. You're at the altar. 3 things on the altar: the flask, the candle, and the whistle.
I take the flask.
You pick up the flask. As you do,
Hmm.
you hear that pop, psst, and you're like, ugh. And you look over, and yeah, that sarcophagi lid just popped open, and something has just started to curl its fingers, its bony, fleshless fingers, around the outside of the lid. But you've got 10 feet of movement left. And an action. What are you doing with those 10 feet and action?
I'm going to move here, and then take out my have my dagger and short sword ready to attack anything that gets too close.
Okay. Baron readies himself to attack things that get too close, and things are indeed trying to get too close.
You're right. They're dead, and not happy.
What? Who would be not happy with you?
A lot of people.
As a number of skeletons begin emerging from the sarcophagi. Do a quick sort. Boop. Get back down to Baron. And I believe I heard there were some ready to actions, some bows and arrows.
Yep, I had one ready to shoot.
Yes, please fire away at whichever one you would like.
Okay, he'd be the first one that I'd probably see.
Sounds good. 19, solid hit, 10 points, good damage. But the skeleton has not fallen to pieces yet.
Okay. If I could also, for the rest of my turn, just yell for Baron to run.
Okay. So, Baron, you see an arrow right through the crevice across the way. You hear the shatter of skeletal bones inside. You still have your action left, and you can now see the skeletons emerging on either side of you. You could dash for more distance. You could attack. You could take a dodge. What are you doing with the last bit of your action?
Well, as much as I like to be in a room full of skelly boys, I will dash my way out of here.
Okay. Dashing, you will take an attack of opportunity from the 2 skeletons. They still have a lid in the way, so you've got +5 to your armor class.
Okay.
Skeletons, 2 attacks on Baron. 1, 2. Wow, 18?
+5 with my 14. No.
Okay, good job. No, sorry. It's already had the +5 in there. They rolled a 23.
Oh.
The 16, which is now an 11, will definitely miss, but I think you're going to get tagged for 6 points of piercing. But with that dash, you have another 30 feet to go.
Yeah.
All right. And our ranger body is now there. Skeleton, start marching forward. Steps out. Atala, you're holding the bow. Takes a swing at you. 9's going to miss bad. Atala, are you standing your ground? Or are you beating feet?
Disengage.
Disengage. Atala has begun the retreat. Shanann. Oh, are you back with us?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the. Does Kalen look like he's stepping forward or stepping back?
I believe Kalen was going to be making a rush for the exit. Kalen, please confirm or not.
I was just standing at the ready, really.
Okay.
Okay. I will go to shut the door.
Sure. Give me a strength athletics check, please.
Like, does it look like heavy?
It looks like big heavy.
Yeah, I cast Thaumaturgy to close the door.
Yeah. The door closes. Bam. And the skeleton's like, but... And nothing. Shanann, anything else for you?
Bye.
Bye. Skeletons all pile up behind the door. Kalen, you are free to leave if you so choose.
It wasn't a circular room, Kalen. Remember this.
It's square.
Kalen, are you still with us? There you go. Sorry, say it again.
I said there was a little violin going off in my heart.
So, with the door closed and the skeletons trapped inside, the party is free to depart with their loot of a crystal vial. That crystal vial, as you run about, does have a potion within it. And a little bit later, you will have the opportunity to get it evaluated as a potion of fire resistance. Bink.
For that goblin factory.
You make your way through the rest of the citadel, out into the waning light of evening, along the road back to Oakhurst, passing twisted, blighted trees and a dusty road, the ashen plains off in the distance, and the welcome of a tavern and a slightly uncomfortable talk with the lady whose children have not been returned. And good.
I was gonna say on the way back, can we discuss who's gonna chat with the lady about her kids?
Nose goes not it.
If Baron has to, I will do it.
I was very.
That's exactly what I was just about to ask. So please talk amongst yourselves and let me know what the conversation might be like with Lady Hercule.
Well,
Atala will say that he will talk to her insight into Atala's character. He feels for her because he left home, so he sees her kind of like a mother figure. So he will take that responsibility unless somebody else wants to, like, very, very emphatically.
Well, if you're going, then I'll let you do it.
Okay, may I have the signet rings?
Oh, yes. You'll have them over.
Sweet. In looking at the signet rings, are they the exact same?
They're very similar. Not quite the same. One looks like it was definitely for a larger finger.
Okay.
One was definitely for a smaller finger.
But the signet is the same?
The emblem themselves are the same.
Okay.
And you do recognize it from the sign over the general store that it would be for the Hercule family.
Okay. Good.
All right. So, you return to Oakhurst. You walk in, and we'll kind of do this cinematic style, I think. It's one of those moments where the lady sees you return. She looks kind of pleased and excited for a moment, and then she looks down and she sees those two rings that you're carrying, and you just see her face fall. There's a little bit of a conversation. You offer your condolences, of course, and you offer... Did I hear you say that you're returning to look for the children?
That was the idea that we would go back. Am I talking to her, or just was that your question?
Yeah, I'm a little of both.
Okay. So essentially what I would say to her is that we went there, we found the hobgoblin, we took care of them as they cast your children into the darkness of the citadel. We did retrieve these for you to know that the search hasn't stopped, but we needed to come back and better fit ourselves before going back out to try and find them. And I'll place my arm on her shoulder to show sincerity.
Sure. Give me a charisma roll of choice.
Oh, garbage.
Oh,
Can I do performance? No, this is sincere.
That didn't sound like performance. I'm willing to.
I'm just sincerity isn't a thing, so I'm just doing. Look at that.
Bang. You are on it. So you can see for a moment that, grubby adventurer covered in death, putting an arm around a noble lady probably isn't okay most of the time. But after that moment of just like, ugh, she's like, and then she just kind of gives you that sort of pat hug, and then, tries to regain her composure, get her game face back on, and thank you. I of course will set you up in the tavern. Please take a rest. If there's anything that I or the store can help you with, we will provide it. Food. How many more tomatoes can I get for you? And so on. So you do have run of the town. You do have a place at the tavern, and you do have the thanks of Lady Hercule, and you have gained a level. So congratulations. You have reached level 2. You are not required to continue with these characters into level 2, but if you enjoyed them, please feel free to spin them off into your own style, and we'll pick up from there at another time with another adventure into the Citadel.
Nice.
You had fun with it. And hey, we made it under the 4-hour mark. We're at 3:33, not counting the time that I squeezed in a little early. So, actually, I'd like to, if I can, open it up to a little bit of feedback from you guys. Did you have fun with it? Anything you hated? Anything you loved? Kind of anywhere in the middle.
I thought it was great. Starting with solo characters is a little, or level 1 characters is always a little rocky at first, and with people that you don't know, with how they play, how they communicate. But I thought the encounters ramped up just a little bit every time, so we would know how each other communicated a little bit more each go. I thought it went well.
Awesome.
I enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go.
You good?
I agree on that. I had a lot of fun. Never
Awesome.
done such a thing live either.
There's a little bit of pressure there. However, most of the folks that end up in the audience are kind to us because they tend to be in other games that we play. So usually, if somebody's making fun of us, they know that we're gonna pay them back eventually. Also, Gigi Nelly, thank you for loving the goblinism. Yes, I don't know where my mind goes sometimes, but it seemed appropriate at the moment.
I enjoyed it. It was the first time that I played as it's the most basic character I've ever played as.
Mhm.
So I had fun with it.
Awesome. Yeah, I apologize. The fighter did have basically I swing my sword, but the fighter did also have the I subtract 3 from any damage that I take. So that was kind of the trade-off there.
But it was very fluid. So
Cool.
I mean, it was very enjoyable. So.
Excellent. Well, if you guys do come up with any criticisms, I welcome those as well. I feel like I stumbled a little bit here and there, and I'll regret that as I listen to the playback eventually. But that'll be okay.
I do have one thing that could make conversations flow better.
Sure.
Is leaving initiative roll up so people don't step on each other, but being like going through initiative for even the conversations, because there were a couple of times where we had 30 seconds of silence just because people didn't want to step on each other.
Yeah, gotcha.
When speaking, so if the initiative order, or even if there was a separate one, I'd be like, this is what conversation goes. Then if you don't have anything to say, you can just say pass.
Gotcha.
And then that way there's no squelching the other people.
I may take a look at that one. I find we don't seem to have that problem after doing this 2 or 3 times over Discord, because you learn you can sort of talk over people most of the time for a little bit. And, if you really want to talk, you just keep talking and the other person goes a little quiet. I do that if you're like,
Right.
right.
And then you can just keep talking over, like I'm doing to Casey right now.
Yeah,
It'll just be talking over this person.
Yeah, it's
too.
fine.
Yeah.
I see it.
Right, and so if you know the people, it's okay. But for
that
one-off with people that don't know each other,
Well,
generally
you can't say that anymore now.
speaking over, right? We can't, and so this is for future runs.
Yeah, I can see that for new folks coming in. That would be helpful. Or some sort of visual indicator. If we maybe don't go initiative, just the effect of like some sort of like raise your hand that you want to talk when someone goes quiet. I'll figure out a way to do that. That's a good idea. Thank you.
Right. Cool.
Awesome. So, thank you all.
One bit. I personally, in the first combat where you had the forced questions, I love that. I think that should extend to the second one, at least.
Okay.
I think that lets everyone get to know each other and their characters significantly better. That's what made me figure out what Shannon actually was in that moment.
Fair deal. How do the rest of you feel about the story prompts / forced questions?
I really like that.
Okay, cool.
It also helped me bring out Baron.
Nice. I'm sure I can think up another 4 or 5 sets of questions that we can curveball people at. If actually you guys think of anything that you wish I would have asked, and I kind of like giving the last person the break and throw them the "What's your favorite color" thing, but you don't always get the break. So if you think of anything else that would be helpful as just a quick, hey, what's the party like in this facet? So if you think of any more of those, let me know what they might be. You two out there in Twitch land. I see you out there. I can hear you breathing. Oh, actually, there's a couple of people whose names I don't recognize out there. Hello to people who I don't recognize. And on that note, should anyone be interested in playing, these one-shots and such are things that we're doing probably not every Tuesday, but hopefully like every other Tuesday. So if you'd like to take part, hop on the channel, get the invite, and we will get you set up with a level 1 character. I've got 2 more paths to go through, which are the Goblin Path and the Kobold Path. I can do a Goblin voice. I like my Goblin voice. I can't do a Kobold voice, so
Lies.
if you really like to hear me stumble, that's the one to be in. Yeah, no, the Kobold voice, it just hurts. I haven't figured that one out yet. So, thanks all. I hope to see everybody in another campaign sooner or later as time allows for everybody, and we'll pick it up and run from there.
Sounds good.
If the Captain's Reboot would like to shut down the stream, do we have any other going on?
So same time, same pit next week?
Next week, probably not. Because next week I've also got a game on Wednesday. When I string them back to back to back to back to back, the wife starts getting that murder knife look in her hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, that's
Alrighty.
not good.
Yeah, no, she mean.
And on that note, I
Kobolds?
will.
Wait, hang on. Kobold should sound like Scooby-Doo.
Oh, no.
Reggie! I love you guys, Reggie.
No, I don't.
Where's
I
that
don't.
Can you say
Where's that
2
clip?
and more in that voice? Because if you can't say 2 and more, it doesn't count.
Ooh, Reggie, no, 2 and more. No, I can't.
And now
What does
he's gonna be
Scooby-Doo s-
practicing watching Scooby-Doo for
Yeah, what does
weeks.
Scooby-Doo say other than
I love you, Reggie.
Ruh-roh.
Uh-oh.
I don't know about that
Zoinks.
one. Yeah, no, that's Shaggy.
Yeah.
Zoinks. I'll figure out something eventually.
Just
So.
make him sound like Petrie from Land Before Time.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Petrie. No, yup was Ducky.
I'm a
Petrie.
flyer?
No,
You could go Ducky too. I mean, Ducky's iconic.
Yup. No, I don't know that I can make that voice happen. Oh well, I'll figure something else out.
There you go.
In the meantime, they'll just be very creature. They have complicated lips. I'm sure they all sound very different. So on that note of my confusion, thank you all. Have a great night.
You as well. Thanks for DMing.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.